And we are live. Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake. Hope you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another set of YouTube channel reviews for you. We're also going to be talking about how you can grow a YouTube channel in 2026. Very different than it has been before. YouTube has announced a ton of new changes, including the fact that they are most likely bringing back DMs. So we're going to be getting direct messaging back in YouTube. So that's actually going to be really dope. I also want to show off something I've been building for you guys. I've been on a massive tear with a vibe coding journey, and I've actually been building out a tool. It's not ready for you guys for public consumption yet to use this, but I am going to use it in our channel reviews. And I just happen to have up Marquez Brownlee's YouTube channel as a demo here, but we're going to actually be demoing your YouTube channels and utilizing this tool. So it's actually really dope. I'm calling it a creator scorecard, and it has just a ton of cool features here. And I can even do some pattern analysis and things that just typically don't show up in YouTube itself. So that's just kind of dope, and it's a little something different than what we normally see. Let's see here. Yep. So, just some different things there with that. Hang on, is my feature for that acting up? Okay, yeah, my switching was acting up. I'm sorry about that. Also, is StreamYard doing that? Okay, cool. So yeah, so again, we have this really dope tool, and it's got actually a lot of features. So when you submit your super chats, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm actually going to end up bringing your channels into this tool, and I think it's going to be really interesting, and hopefully it doesn't have too many bugs or glitches while I'm working with it, but I think it'll be okay, and I can always fix any of those later. So that one's an error on the thumbnail analyzer. If the thumbnail analyzer doesn't end up working, that is fine, because it's not going to be really important for these channel reviews. It's just a cool feature. It was working earlier, so I'll probably try fixing that through my bug testing. The main thing that we're going to actually use it for is the channel audit feature and the grades in the scorecard, because that's going to be really cool. We're going to also use it for, some of the thumbnail analyst features are working. So I just wonder what is up with that bug. I'll have to check that out later in the error reporting. But it does some other cool things. We've got this performance radar, which I think is actually really cool as far as the points covered in the performance radar: consistency, engagement, performance, content, diversity, and growth. So very cool. And I have an explainer toggle for each. So again, I've been vibe coding this. I've probably spent maybe 60 hours now on this. So I think it's a very cool tool, and eventually, it'll be ready for like public consumption. It has a crap ton of features. It may be one of the better tools out there. It is not the same thing as Social Blade. It's very different than Social Blade. It's very different than view stats from Mr. Beast. They might have a few features in common that are just normal for YouTube tools, but I find that they're very different. Yep, that's still not doing what I want. But yeah. And I'm also able to get some fairly unique data compared to a lot of other tools. For one thing, I actually cover all the formats. So we can actually get data based on shorts, live streams. In Marquez's case, he hasn't really been doing live streams for the most part. He's just been doing shorts and regular videos. So we can actually compare. We can have videos, we have shorts, we could go all formats. That's a different way of approaching this than any other tool is doing. But again, like the whole point is not here because again, I can't even sell the tool right now. The main point is if you guys bring in your channel reviews, we're going to be able to do more with them than just me looking at them on your channel, which I absolutely will do. We'll be able to bring them in here and see if we can do some data and pattern recognition around them. So I think that's cool. I like seeing the upload cadence, longest streak, active days over the last 100 days, like kind of thing. So this is actually pretty dope. Or actually, no, wait, this is over the course of, I think, 12 months. Yeah. So like Marquez has been mad consistent. You can just kind of like see it. So we have that. It brings up recent videos. It gives you all kinds of performance metrics on them for both videos and shorts. So yeah, again, just a very different tool. It has some benchmarking features. I try to visualize and encapsulate pretty much as much data as we can. I like to pull lifetime data from channels instead of just, oh, what they do in the last 30 days? Oh, what they do in the last 90 days? I like seeing the lifetime and journey of a channel. So pretty cool stuff here. Average views by format. Again, I cover long form, short form, and live streams, and because they're different, which is something the majority of these other tools don't do. So yeah, so that's fun. I just, wanted to build something really dope and kind of wanted to show that off to you guys a little bit. So we have that there. Also, tonight's stream, as per usual, is sponsored by one of our amazing partners. It is sponsored by our good friends over at oneof10.com. If you go there and you sign up with code Roberto, you get 20% off for life. It is actually the best YouTube strategy tool for helping you generate professional thumbnails, titles, topics, find outlier videos, get a sense of timing. So highly recommend 1of10. Even the thumbnail for tonight's live stream was made with 1of10. Even though I'm a Photoshop wizard, it's faster. So make sure you're checking out 1of10.com. Make sure you use code Roberto at checkout, and they will take care of you with a 20% off lifetime discount. So again, thank you to our friends over at 1of10.com. Make sure you sign up today. So yeah, let's see what we have going on in the chat. We're also answering your questions. Thank you, Doug, for holding it down. Doug Hewson moderating tonight. We've also got Dan Courier, Creator Fundamentals. How's it going, Dan? Appreciate you. Yeah, we can answer any and all of your questions. And until we get super chats in, because that usually happens later in the stream, is when we get the super chats in. I can just talk to you a little bit about some of what I've been working on. We can kind of test out some of what I've been doing here with just my vibe coding tool, Creator Scorecard. Yeah, I built this with a combination of Claude Code and Manus, which is probably now my favorite AI tool. It's probably Manus now. We got a lot of great AI tools in the ecosystem now to help you build things, and that's been pretty dope. But yeah, Manus has been wild to work with, and it's been really dope, and it's really helped me out a lot. Let's see here. Yeah, I should be in focus now. And then also, it should be doing that thing. Yep, nope, that's fine. Let me see. Channel not found. Hang on. Yep, review shots are fully open for anyone looking for reviews tonight. Absolutely. Yep, yes, you are going to see me, Chandali, the esthetician. You're going to see me in Austin for the YouTube workshop that they're doing IRL in Austin during South by Southwest. I will be there. Yeah, YouTube is bringing me out to Austin, Texas for an in-person event. Recently, I was actually at YouTube in not was it LA? Yeah, I was in LA for YouTube for a YouTube shopping live workshop IRL, and then I was at why is this camera not fully in focus? I know I didn't accidentally set this to manual focus, did I? Nope. Anyway, the so I was in YouTube LA in February for I think it was in February. Was it January? No, it was February. It was in February for a live IRL workshop for YouTube shopping. Then I went on to the Creator Insider podcast at the end of February, right before the beginning of March. I don't know when that episode is coming out, but I'm going to be on the Creator Insider YouTube channel on their new podcast. So we talked about YouTube shopping, we talked about AI, we talked about how creators can use it. So it went really well. So I cannot wait. They sent me some behind the scenes for that. The YouTube event itself is not part of South by Southwest. I believe they still have invites for it, but it's not. You don't need a ticket for South by Southwest to participate in it. So there's that. I believe Brandon from This Is Tech Today, and then someone else is going to be on the panel with me for this. I'm also going to be working with Hostinger. They're one of the web companies. They're one of the web hosting companies that I use. They're actually really good. They're also probably the cheapest web hosting company I've ever used, but with the highest quality for price. Better than Squarespace in some ways, in quite a few ways, actually. They're going to be a new sponsor for the channel, and I'm doing a creator workshop for them at South by Southwest as well. So, I'm working with them. So a lot of interesting stuff happening with partnerships. You guys know that tomorrow I will be on the Opus Clip channel for Saturday in my ongoing partnership with them as well. And we'll be talking about YouTube and YouTube Shorts. So that's been really good. Oh yeah, Eat Plants, Lift Weights. I saw you sent an email, and yes, you can talk about your niche specific stuff in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. For those of you who are interested, make sure you check out awesomecreatoracademy.com and join us over there. You can check out www.awesomecreatoracademy.com/join. Isn't it kind of cool that I was able to put together this dope graphic for StreamYard with myself cut out there? I think that that's actually like pretty dope, if I do say so myself. So yeah, StreamYard is actually really improved. Shout out to StreamYard. They've really done a lot of quality of life updates to the product. I'm really happy with it, despite them not working with as many influencers anymore, including me and a lot of the team. But they've been improving the product. So I have to give Bending Spoons their credit. When they acquired StreamYard, they actually ended up making the product significantly better. A lot of quality of life improvements. So credit where credit is due. But yeah, make sure you guys are checking out awesomecreatoracademy.com if you're interested in working with me directly. I'm just trying to also see if I can. I have my tool doing an update to my YouTube Analytics scorecard tool. And we're actually doing a patch update that should take care of the thumbnail analyzer tool. But the thumbnail analyzer tool is new, and it's not the most interesting part of what I've been doing with this tool anyway. So I'm not nearly as worried about it. But I cannot wait to plug some of your channels into this and then see what we get to look at there. But yeah, I just pulled up another YouTube channel. I pulled up Justine's channel as a larger creator to kind of show this off and everything like that. So again, really solid overall tool with the report card grades. You get a lot of interesting feedback and data. Still adjusting how this works for different channels of different sizes, like with the tier with the mega creator badge and the benchmarking stuff for creators of a certain size. So again, doing that. Video library tool is kind of interesting, and you can also pull individual video stats in terms of outlier score breakdown. Something I'm going to end up adding to this is going to be eventually I'm going to end up having a title performance analyzer that looks at different aspects of the channel. One thing I already do differently is that I break down the number of characters in a title, and I also do this video performance radar as well with different metrics. And then I made my own grading system for a lot of these things and weighting system. I also handle view distribution of given uploads, how many views across how many videos across the last 100 videos, what were the parameters of how many videos got over a certain amount of views in terms of view distribution. We might extend this to videos with 1 million views. I just haven't seen the need. 100,000 views is so big, even for large channels. There are very few channels like that are going to be like Mr. Beast, where all of their videos are going to be that. So the distribution, I think, is completely reasonable to focus on videos across these ranges of 0 to 1K, 1K to 5K, 5K to 10, 10 to 50K, 50K to 100K, and then 100K plus, to see like what percentage of the videos end up being that. And then I do like that we just have a average views by format that breaks down the distribution of your different 3 YouTube formats. So, you know, I just felt like that is pretty dope, and that's something different. And then in the main dashboard, in addition to lifetime stats and the kind of things you generally get out of, the things that you generally get out of a regular analytic tool, there are just some different things that, we look for, and we look for things like a benchmark. Like right now, I've only crawled about 900 channels in these last couple of weeks. So since I only have 900 channels worth of data, even though we prioritized benchmarking some larger channels because they just have more data, that's been just super interesting to work with. And, I think it's really dope. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And eventually we'll have more. There are just interesting things with a channel, like one of the Mr. Beast channels, though. Like we go to like Mr. Beast Gaming, which he's recently been redoing. There is just some interesting data with this, especially since he only started reviving this channel very recently. So even Mr. Beast can have swings and dips, even though for him those dips still represent more views than most of us will ever get. Like, a dip in views for him is my like lifetime views. His like dip in a month is my whole lifetime views on one of his channels. But it's just really interesting to see that, and to also see how much continuing to post matters. Even for a channel of this size, consistency still matters. Look at the difference of the views when he uploads more consistently versus when he doesn't, and just those wild swings. And so no matter how big you get as a YouTuber, consistency would matter. Even though, yes, without posting or consistency, he could still get massive amounts of views on his back catalog. But even with that back catalog, compared to being active versus inactive, is a wild jump. So just looking at the fact that An inactive period for him is like 35 million, but a really truly active period for him is like 700 million. That is a 20x difference in being active and aggressive versus not being active hardly at all. So a 20x difference in views. Don't let people tell you that consistency and quantity doesn't matter. It clearly does. Even when YouTubers put out their highest quality videos and they make less of them, the reality is their views just go down. No matter what people try to say, it's been proven over and over again. One of the reasons I built a data tool, one of the reasons I built this kind of tool was I just wanted to know what's real and what's not, and just have this really explicitly visual way of looking at data and knowing what's the reality of a channel. So I wanted to build a diagnostic tool. I wanted to think like, what kind of tool would I build if I was working at YouTube? And so when I thought to myself, what would I make if I was working at YouTube and trying to figure out how to analyze channels, how to help channels grow, how to help them understand data, and what would be important, what would I want to measure, what would we want to know about a channel? It's what inspired me to start building this tool. And I thought about all the tools that exist. And the truth is, when I looked at other tools that exist, I wasn't seeing the kind of data that I care about and things I was having to figure out manually on my own. And a lot of you have seen me try to like rack my brains and do quick math on aspects of your channels before, and then like have to kind of eyeball it or break out a calculator. Well, now I don't have to do that. I can just put a channel into this tool and I'll know what's going on. So again, usually the channel review super chats come in more really 30, 45 minutes into these streams. So again, I'm not too worried about when we're going to get around to that, because in the meantime, I'm just watching my code compile over here in Manus. So I'm just like sitting here watching my code compile and telling me, hey, why is that thing I want you to do not doing the thing I want you to do? So I'm sitting there watching it do that. Let's see. Yep, trigger reanalysis with the vibes format, add adjustment to track thumbnail type changes. Pass successfully. Yep. It's also going to give me an SC. Audio's crackling. Really? That shouldn't be happening. This is a Rodecaster 2. Hang on. That shouldn't be happening. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Audio clear now? Is it still happening, guys? Or is it clear now? Clear now? Yeah. All right. I don't know what was up with that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I bought a brand new Rodecaster Duo right here, and I replaced my Rodecaster Pro. So I spent like $500 on this thing, and I spent another $100 on like going through cable management nonsense with this. So it better be bloody working. Let's see. The most I could see it being is signal interference, either from other things, or it could be, I mean, the most I could see it being is signal interference then. But it's a good thing I didn't throw away my old Rodecaster then, because if it is somewhere else in the chain and that's not the problem, then it's a good thing I didn't throw away my old Rodecaster and I still have it somewhere. Seems more analog. I think if it's anything, it might be either the chord interference when like individual chords hit each other, in which case I might need to do a cable management thing where I just separate this chord from everything else and then it never touches another cable. So that'd probably be it. But that means in theory that my Rodecaster Pro version 1 might still be working, which means I can either add it to a different setup. Lord knows I have enough setups in this house, or maybe I can let my brother use it. So we'll see. We'll see. Because if I'm still occasionally running into audio issues with this thing, then Doug would be right. It would be somewhere else in my chain, and that would mean that it wasn't the hardware itself. It'd mean it was either cabling, which I doubt it's the cables, because these cables are all supposed to be high quality XLR cables, and they're not like super old or anything. And then it would mean it'd be signal interference, because I hear that when cables, different varying cables touch each other, sometimes it can create that problem. So then I just have to rig the cable management in a different way to where this audio cable just never touches anything. And then that would be the answer. Bro, watch the video after and you moved if that caused it. We'll see. I mean, when I so-called fixed it, I think I literally just like plugged it in again, and that was the issue. Or again, it could be all these other electronics I have by it, because like I have all this other stuff out right now. I was messing around with the DJI stuff, and I was putting cages on all the DJI gear. So that was interesting. But yeah, this is the Osmo Pocket 3. This is the Action Cam 6. And then you've got the DJI Nano here. So I was just putting like cages on all my DJI stuff so that while I'm at South by Southwest, I can do some vlog-like content and finish this thing that I'm working on, because I'm working on a video, 15 tips for vlogging, and also some more how to vlog content for people. I did vlogging in the past earlier in my YouTube journey, and so bloody cat hair, Tom jumping on me, getting all this cat hair on me. So I was gonna film some stuff, especially since I'll be in a different location in Austin, and then I was gonna mostly make it B-roll from being on there, plus B-roll from when I was in New York, and B-roll from when I was in Florida, if I have any of that left. So I was gonna use that, do some voiceover, some of it, do some vlog A-roll to speak over and interrupt some of it as well. And then I was gonna use that and make a 15 tips video. No clue on when I'm releasing that. I also am planning a 6 best cameras for YouTube beginners to get back to basics. A lot of people, there's so much that's changed in terms of gear and hardware and options that people need to know what their options are and what good gear would be, what affordable gear is. Gear is actually getting really good and really affordable with a ton of options. So yeah. Marcus over in the UK is saying that cleaning the plugs can make a difference. Yeah, I've heard that as well. And yeah, I can see how that would be a thing, and that would make sense. And I might do a cleanup job after this and see if cleaning up the plugs makes a difference. Yeah. Yep, no, I can see how that might make a difference. Dirt gets in the socket, which can be a small contact point. Yep, no doubt. let's see. Yeah, we also have top outliers as well. And we can hover over these and it kind of pops out the channel. If we click on them, we get the performance, including the views per hour, channel average, video view versus subscriber benchmark, all these other things here. Duration, the views per hour on the individual video. So very cool stuff. We're doing channel reviews, Drew. So I'm not going to necessarily plug in a channel arbitrarily into it while we're doing live channel reviews per the rules in the description. I thought about doing that, but just for demoing what I'm breaking down in data, you know, I'm just going to benchmark some of the channels that I have on this list of larger channels to benchmark for scoring data and to do testing and bug testing and platform stability for the tool. But I'm happy to do a channel review per the super chats and then run them through this, plus give you my overall analysis as per usual. And again, I'm not just going to cover the tool when I do channel reviews, but I made this actually to also help me do channel reviews. I've been actually working with this with my clients and getting feedback from them on my coaching calls with them on the tool and giving them a little extra time so that we could just see like more data on their channel. And that's been super interesting. But it's also been really cool to just be able to now like not have to do anything but say, okay, this is what the data says is happening, instead of having to communicate something differently. Presenting the data does most of the work in a lot of cases in terms of when I need to make a point of do this differently because this is what the data says is happening. Let's see. Marcus says, hey, Roberto, it's something you may want to cover sometime, as servicing equipment, particularly low voltage, is susceptible to resistance from dirt and grease, even from hands and fast food, etc. Yeah, no problem. This tool is a custom tool that I'm building right now. It's not something anybody can get right now. I'm in closed beta for the tool right now because I'm still building it. I'm actually even building it while I'm here on stream. So, you know, this is my own tool, Creator Scorecards. So right now, people cannot buy this. So this isn't like a demo for a sales pitch of my tool, because I probably will not let anyone, except maybe in a closed beta, buy and use this or try to sell it to anybody outside of me using it for my clients for about another 3 to 6 months, because I've put about maybe 60 hours into developing this so far. I don't think that's enough to take it to full production grade. I would think a minimum of 100 hours into vibe coding this might be sufficient to take it to production grade. I'd want to probably do 100 to 200 hours on it. So I'd want to give it another 3 to 6 months. Then I'm probably still only going to do a closed beta. And then I'd probably want a seasoned developer to look at it, especially on the security side. I feel like I did a lot of security testing, troubleshooting, error handling, error logging. We built a custom caching engine for performance, API key rotation. We built in all kinds of things into this between me, Claude, and Manus working on it. But that's not the same thing as a seasoned coder being able to look over it. Even in like my admin panel, I think my admin panel is actually pretty impressive in terms of like the level of things we monitoring. I put in a monitor for the API keys usage and quota. I put in multiple API keys into different pools so that there's a different allocation pool for paid users when we have them, my own crawler and reporting tools, my own tools as an owner, and then a publicly available pool for non-registered users. Um, yeah, this is a tool I created. Yeah, so I vibe coded this and I built it using different APIs. Like I integrated for like the integrations, I integrated YouTube's API for YouTube data, YouTube Analytics reporting API, Google Cloud Vision, Google Natural Language API, SERP API for Google Search. I did not implement chart metric yet or Clearbit, but we did do brand fetch and also GPT-4 from OpenAI and also the SendGrid email API. We even have an overall developer roadmap. So this is in my admin panel. I even built a system for allocating, assigning, and resetting and testing API keys. So I did all that, and then also monitoring the API pool, a pool assignment chart, monitoring for exhausted API keys and rotation. So we did that. Even have a benchmarking tool here for firing off crawl jobs to try to benchmark channels. And that's why we've benchmarked over 800 channels so far, but we've graded and done snapshots for probably like 5,000 channels. We have some benchmarks for how many channels we actually want snapshots and audits for. So I'm slowly working my way through that. And then we have categorization for it. We're doing a tier-based breakdown of channels as well based on their sub count, so we can do benchmarking and reporting by channel tier. So that was ideal. This unknown is probably channels under 1,000, if I'm being honest, because we've had a couple of those in there. So yeah, and then this is obviously a breakdown of the different channel snapshots obfuscated by ID instead of by channel handle, so that we can do what's called anonymized data reporting. So, and I thought of all of this. Like, I thought of everything, right? I thought of everything, quote unquote. I even did a thing to where we feed the data into insight reports, or at least we try to feed it into these insight reports. And so when it's done collecting enough data, it'll populate with the findings and things like that. So we're doing these reports and benchmarking. I'm going to end up probably extending the scope of the key insights from the reports. And so we even get the average engagement percentage. I'm not surprised at all. And then we have the sample size, so that you know whether it was a good test or not, of like how many channels were the sample size for these metrics. And then, well, what were their subscriber counts? So it's not random data of, oh, YouTube channels do this, YouTube channels do that. We break it down relevant to you of like, the truth is, nano influencers, 1K to 10K, like these have a higher, like ironically, the smaller community, the more engagement. The smaller the community, the more engagement percentage. So it's things like that. And that insight may not surprise that many people, but the sheer discrepancy of the fact that smaller influencers, the smallest influencers, have almost 5x the engagement of the largest influencers, putting it like that may be different for people in terms of an insight. I don't think the shorts impact one has enough data yet, but we're working on it. But in terms of the amount of shorts produced on channels and then the engagement score, I think it's actually really interesting that no shorts is a massive dip in engagement compared to if you used shorts. So again, just interesting stuff there in the insights reports. Now, again, our sample size right now is still minimal from benchmarking about roughly 800 channels and then snapshots of 5,000. The goal is just eventually to just get to a much, much larger pool of channels over time. So, yeah. Have you ever used YouTube OAuth to audit a channel? We're still working on the integration for YouTube OAuth. We're like 90% of the way on that integration. So there's still an upper limit to what we can do with that. It will definitely improve the data reporting, but the data reporting without it is at roughly 88%. The data reporting without OAuth is about at 88% from everything we've been able to determine. So even without it, we're still fairly strong. When we have it, it'll be easier to do 7-day and 28-day data for a lot of people, but we have 90-day, we have all time, and we can do it by format. And so we're, well, HopeScope doesn't do live streams, so there we go. But that is, something that we're hoping for with, the OAuth verification integration happening, is it'll drastically improve data quality. But that improvement is just going from like 88% to 98%. Significant, but this is still powerful enough without it. But obviously that'll help, especially when people start using it for themselves. Being able to connect their own channel with OAuth will make a difference for them specifically when looking at their own channels. But like I said, I'm 3 to 6 months out from letting individual people outside of some kind of closed beta even use this. So I just use this in my coaching calls, and I use it hopefully going forward for these channel reviews. So again, I'm just showing this off a little bit. Oh yeah, I don't use pre-made code. I don't use pre-made code at all. I built everything off of my own custom methodology. Everything I built was bespoke methodology, but using available APIs from Google and from OpenAI and a few other sources. So we did there's about 8 primary APIs used in the background for this, and then best practices. But yeah, and again, once I fully integrate OAuth, because I mean, even in admin, you can see that we've done the OAuth integration. It's just not all the way done. But as you can see, we have been integrating that, and we have an OAuth health check for that. We have a systems health check for database config, API key rotation, client ID, the secret configs, all of that. So it's pretty robust, and revealing the admin panel doesn't reveal anything secret because again, we obfuscate enough things. So that's fine. But again, just showing you how much thought went into this by showing you the backend admin panel. That's kind of the just a insight into the methodology and the fact that I've built multiple iterations of some of my individual systems, and that I built robust systems around this. I think that the entire app might be, I wonder how many lines of code we're at, but it's probably significant. The code base is probably pretty significant right now. The code base had to be broken up into sectors because it just started to become way too robust. But, it's a good problem to have, I guess. So yeah. Let's see. Maybe the thumbnail analytics is working now. Let me check. Check a channel that window. Sweet. I think the thumbnail analytics are working now. Let's check. Yep, thumbnail analytics should be working now if I refresh. And I'll just use Mark Rober's channel as my test for this. At Mark Rober. Beulah, Beulah. So yeah, so if I go to the channel audit tool and scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Okay, vibes category breakdown tells you kind of what our methodology is for our scoring. And so his stuff may have been, yes, it even incorporated what I wanted to. Photorealistic person focused. I am going to have to get it to identify when something's a short, though, because then it shouldn't. I mean, thumbnails, shorts can have thumbnails, but I need it to identify when we're seeing one so that we can do that. We do also have this palette breakdown, and it shows you the ratio of the colors in the palette present. So I think that's interesting as well. I think that I understand where this one probably got a lower grade, but I don't think it deserves this low grade, but I could see why it got this. So we're going to tweak the grading for the thumbnails because, again, it's a new feature. Because I don't think that this deserves a D thumbnail from Mark Rober, but I can see how it got there because it's interpreting this as cluttered, I believe. And I'm probably going to put some kind of context tool that tells us why or how something got a certain grade. Interesting. It did correctly identify some of the features and things in this thumbnail. Oh, clickbait signals detected. Well, that's true, but this is short, so I'm not surprised. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, that's working now. And then let's see. Actionable recommendations. It might be wrongly identifying him there with the cartoon face thing. Status and social proof. Yep. Oh, it's a cartoon illustration for the profile pic. Okay, I have to make sure it's identifying that that's a profile, the profile pic of the channel, and then doing an analysis of that, and then I have to make sure that it scores that differently because it didn't get any context. Yeah, super interesting. Performance rates right now. Cool. Yeah. So good stuff. Glad that part of it is working. I can just give it recommendations and we can tweak that. So we've got just Dex, not Dexter. Hey Roberta, I've been working more on my ideation process lately, but I'm still fine-tuning it. Do you think it might be a good fit for the Creator Academy Pro Group? Also, what APIs did you use for your tool? I used basically all the free Google APIs, and I used the free GPT-4 API, and that's what I used. Really, audio crackling again? Maybe it is the connector pins. All right, so I just blew on the connector pins. Is the audio better? Is the audio better now? It's coming in good again? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, for my tool, I used Google's free APIs plus GPT-4, and I used Google Cloud Vision AI. So yeah. But oh my God, is it not easy to do it all even by itself? Again, 60 hours of vibe coding, thousands of tens of thousands of credits in Manus. I've probably had to blow through maybe $1,200 of credits in Manus between this and the other tools that I made, because I made some other tools, but we're only gonna probably show off this one. But yeah. Let's see. Did we get Dex not Dexter into the form? Yes, we did. Okay, cool. So we're gonna put his channel up on the screen, and I'm gonna bring it into my tool. All right. So let's see here. We've got Dex, not Dexter. And he's done channel reviews before, mostly around AI, interestingly enough. And he's done some popular videos, got a couple thousand views on those, is at 800 subscribers now. And he has done a channel review in the past. Eventually, I'm going to be building out a tool that lets me actually do a lot better tracking on the channels that do channel reviews here, so that we can get a sense of like your overall growth over time since you've been doing reviews. So that's going to happen. Let's see your videos here and see what's going on, and then we'll see what our tool has to say about what's going on. ChatGPT 5.4 is not what you think. I think that title is not inflammatory enough. I think the thumbnail is really good, but I don't think there's enough emotional weight to that title. Maybe in my tool, I'll do a title analyzer as well, or some type of evaluation of individual titles. We'll see. Why US government just banned... I think instead of saying Anthropic's API, you would have needed, even though it is Anthropic, I think there need to be something there that has to go more with, what do they call it? Either with the surveillance state or the military industrial complex. It needs to sound more conspiratorial. This one did better. Everyone missed this about Anthropic's military deal. But the thing is, this thumbnail is not nearly interesting enough. And then you also are giving away what you said. They are spying. Like, you're giving it away. Let's see. Tom, what do you want? So let's see here. The truth behind OpenClaw crackdown. This was brilliant in both timing. Well, it could have been timed sooner, but this was actually brilliant overall. This was pretty good. Most people will not get the Rock Lee reference in Seed Dance, but I get what you were going for. Claude Sonnet is not what you expect. Interesting. Did you do something on Claude Cowork? Everyone was talking about that. The Claude bot stuff. Okay, you should have leaned more into this. See, you've been doing really good, Dexter. You have some breakouts here. You just have to get on the stuff that people really care about the most. Yeah, the stuff that's underperforming, I see why it might be underperforming. And as per usual, your breakouts have to do with what people are most interested in. Claude Bot, Claude AI update, the Seed Dance thing with the anime. This thumbnail really captures what people would care about. So that's why that did well. I could see people clicking on that. This was clever with the OpenClaw. This should have been more anime itself and not the anime translated to live action. But I get what you were going for because you were trying to showcase that particular thing. Also, it seems like in my cases, you are making longer videos. So again, I think that you're getting better. I think it's just that you still need to refine your area of focus for a lot of your ideas, Dex. But also, let's see if there's anything just from pattern recognition that my tool can tell us. So for one thing, on the channel audit, my tool is saying you're getting a C, which is not bad at all. It's actually scoring you good for content consistency, Growth is the one where everybody, including established channels, might struggle. So do not take the F in growth personally. You already knew you wanted to correct that. Um, you don't have to worry. You're still trying to grow and you're small. So view stability for long form is not that big of a deal for the grades. Let's see. Let's run an analysis. Your scoring on your thumbnails in many cases is actually not bad. It immediately did flag this one as clickbaity. Still one of your best thumbnails though. Let's see. Huh. I wonder why the color analyzer didn't happen here. And it is recognizing what is going on in your thumbnails. Emotional variance match. Interesting. Does pass my billboard test for the most part. Does very well on the billboard test overall. Composition. I wonder why I needed to explain to me why it scores you lower on visual clarity. I don't think the SEO tool is going to work yet. Oh, is it? Huh. Interesting. I needed to give much more context on that. And oh, the SEO tool is broken because it still even is thinking of Mark Rober for that. So I have to tell it to fix the SEO tool now. Fantastic. So I'm going to give my tool some notes here off of this after I do your review. Interesting. What do we have if we look at... So again, for February, there's some growth here, so that's good. You're not doing shorts. Okay, cool. It anticipates that you have the watch hours, so that's good. 5-day streak, good upload cadence, massive win on consistency here. Shout out to you, Dex. Long form versus lives. Dex, if you can do commentary and source Matt Wolf's videos, but then do commentary on those same topics your way, it means you'd probably be able to tap into what people care about most and suggested and in search. And then you could do a commentary on the individual news stories. So if he does a wrap up of news stories, you could pick apart those individual news stories that people would care about and do a deep dive on them. That's a legitimate way to source content that people would care about. And then these, you got some outliers here. So yeah, overall, Dex, here's my thoughts when it comes to a lot of what's going on with your channel. Your channel can get videos that have more views than you have subscribers. Your views, in many cases where you're at least getting a couple hundred views, are not god awful. And it seems that your issue is not making better videos. Your issue is still picking better topics. My suggestion is you look at what AI news channels, pick 5 AI news channels like Matt Wolf and others that do really, really well and put out a bunch of stuff. Take those individual things when they cover a bunch of news and a bunch of roundups, pick stories out of those, and then do the individual stories as their own videos, and then that's your content, and you're doing the deep dive, and then people will appreciate it. If they're the roundup, you're the deep dive. source those, and then I think you'd be good. Also, yes, whatever is getting you the most subscribers, do more videos like that. So that would be my primary advice. You're directionally correct, but there's tweaking you need to do. You're directionally correct, but then there's tweaking you need to do. If you keep at it, then you're not that far away from 1,000 subscribers. And if you have a couple of more outlier videos that can get a couple thousand views while you're at 800 subscribers, growth happens, monetization happens, you feel even more motivated. But I think your big issue is sourcing news. So if you, and don't be afraid that, oh, a big YouTuber already covered this. Do your version, do the deep dive, and bring your personality to it, and I think it'll be fine. There's a tech YouTuber who does a news show, Front Page Tech, John Prosser. I've interviewed him before. I've known John for years. If you look at even some of what he's done in terms of tech news, he would just get news headlines from the big until he started doing leaks. He would get his news from the big people like The Verge and stuff like that, and then he would cover the stories his way, but he would source news that was already popular. So I would source popular news and then make your show the entertaining deep dive that's fun to learn about these things with your humor and your jokes and your memes and so on. Because there are people who like this stuff, but then there are people who feel like the people covering it are too serious for them. So if you become the entertaining thing where they still learn, then I think that would help quite a bit. Should I lean more into what videos have more impressions? Also, could you also tell me more about the pro group, thinking about joining? With the pro group, with the Awesome Creator Academy pro group, we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. So we meet twice a week throughout the whole year. So that's a big part of it. You get access to all of our resources, my digital products, our micro courses, all of our previous training, 100 hours of training. You get access to our systems and to some of the early access to other resources and tools and templates I've developed, apps that I'm building, all this other stuff. So you get all of that. And then the pro group, you get to come on camera, or you can hide your face cam, come in with audio, and you can ask questions in the group to me and my co-instructor, Andy Rivera, and the other group members that are on the call. You can also post to the private Facebook group and get feedback on titles, thumbnails, and other things with your channel from the other group members. So if that's something you're interested in, then definitely join. Also, heads up to everybody who has ever been thinking about joining the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group. You want to do it now and get grandfathered into current pricing for at least 3 years, because we're going to do a new members after April will have new pricing. Anybody that before the end of April, so you have before until the end of April to get in at current pricing, and then you'll be grandfathered your pricing for at least 3 years. And but after April, new people are going to get new pricing. New pricing means more expensive pricing. But we're also introducing new features, new products, and a lot of stuff. So right now is the best time to join the Awesome Creator Academy Pro Group if you're going to do it. So you can check out awesomecreatoracademy.com. Roberto, just a thought. Does the channel notice when a channel gets monetized? No. YouTube doesn't have to care, and here's why. Well, why would YouTube not care about whether a channel is monetized? Because as of 6 years ago, they ran, I think 5 or 6 years ago, the right to monetize policy, which means YouTube runs ads on a channel regardless of whether a channel's in the partner program. So YouTube makes its money regardless of whether you're monetized. So it has no reason to throttle your views for not being monetized. Tom, you can't be jumping on me when I'm trying to do stuff. Tom, get down. Get down. Tom, you know better. Get down. So yeah, so YouTube makes its money either way. In fact, YouTube would make more money if you're not in the partner program, technically, if you were getting views. So YouTube has no reason to deny a channel views since it makes its money either way. And YouTube has been doing that for maybe 6 years now, about 5 or 6 years. So yeah, hopefully that covers that. And Dexter, again, keep up the good work. There's room to improve. I think you just have a learning curve, and news content is rough, my friend. So don't feel discouraged. I know you've put out hundreds of videos, but it's news content. Figuring out what hits until you get a rhythm and you build a community is always going to be rough for that kind of content. Took me a long time. Was thinking from the point of establishing credibility. Now, monetization doesn't equal credibility from YouTube's perspective on the back end. Channel performance does, and also just going through the channel verification process. So the channel verification process, consistent uploads, and channel performance on YouTube's algorithm would be its credibility function. It would not be a function of being monetized. Eat Plants Lift Weight says, "Hey Roberto, are longer videos now more favored given channel is experiencing lower views?" No, not necessarily. It's that experiences matter. So what's happening is short form, for people who consume on mobile, short form is the better experience for this device. Long form is the better experience on a television. And you have to remember, a phone now costs, a decent phone costs about $1,000 now. The best TV, 70-inch TV is $400 or less now. You can get a 70-inch TCL TV. You can get a TCL TV that's like 70 inches for about $400 now. So let me ask you something. If you can watch long form, and this is to everybody watching in the chat, in the comment section, if you could watch a long form video, yeah. So if you could watch a long form video, would you rather watch a long form video on this device or on your 70-inch TV? If you were going to watch a long form video that's 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 22 minutes, do you want to watch, what's the better experience? This or your 70-inch TV? And remember, this is now $1,000, and a 70-inch TV is less than $500 now. So long form is blowing up on TV, and it's the better experience. When people are on their phones, if they watch long form, they watch it with their ears, not their eyes. I'm telling you, that's even my experience. Podcasting. Even with younger demographics, they're watching podcasts now, or they're watching streaming. YouTube, the CEO of YouTube put out a statement, 30% of daily logged in users watch live content on YouTube. So all your long form views, it's not that it got ate up by shorts. Y'all are thinking that long form views got ate up by shorts. 30% of your long form views got ate up by live streaming. Streaming blew up during the pandemic, and young people aged out of a lot of content and into streaming. But also adults moved into streaming and podcast. Podcasts are blowing up. You're like, oh, no one's watching long form. Everyone's watching shorts. People are not watching as much long form entertainment or certain videos. No one in the commentary, news, and politics niche is saying that their long form views are dead or that they're struggling to get long form views. All of those views, think about it like this. Even for people in high school, they moved over to news, commentary, and drama, and politics. They absolutely did. And they moved over to podcast and variety podcast and Theo Vaughn and things like that, and Joe Rogan. So high schoolers moved to podcast and even true crime podcast, especially biggest with the female demo. That's huge. So long form got longer, but it became content you can watch with your ears instead of your eyes if you're going to use your phone. When I'm on my phone, I watch extreme long form videos because it keeps me company while I'm working throughout the day. And I think that's most people's actual experience now after the pandemic. A lot of people got way too used to the way people watched videos during the pandemic, and they can't deal with how people watch videos after the pandemic now. So that's a big thing that happened. So what now is happening is when people want to watch long form, they watch it on their 70 or 80-inch TV because a 70-inch TV is $500 now, and a phone's $1,000. When people are on their phone, they really want to watch live streams because it's live, and now they don't miss out on it. So it's the FOMO effect. And then short form is just a better mobile experience. Short form and vertical video is a better experience on mobile than long form is. Long form is not as good of an experience on a phone as it is on a TV, and you're on your phone more. So all that happened with YouTube Shorts and where people are mad about their long form views is that long form viewers don't like watching long form content on their phone if it's visual long form content. Short form visual content is a better phone experience. If they're going to watch long form, though, they want to watch it with their ears and not their eyes, which means they don't want to have to look at the screen. They want a video they can put on in the background while they're at work or while they're on their jog or while they're working out at the gym that doesn't interrupt them, that they can listen to with their ears. That's why they're listening to podcasts more, and they're listening to true crime, and they're listening to news commentary and politics. And that's why that's working, and that's why those people don't complain about their views. I'm not saying that long form doesn't work anymore. I'm saying it's made for television content now. Metrics Mule says, Roberto called it. People no longer want the highly edited, fast cut videos. Yeah, I mean, they just don't. And if they're going to watch that, they're going to watch it on their TV. If they're going to watch it, they're going to watch it on their TV anyway. Thoughts on vertical versus landscape live streams? Vertical gets more reach, and it tends to get more engagement. However, landscape widescreen gets more replay value. So replay value for most people is in the widescreen landscape for live streams because there's still the clickability and the thumbnail aspect. But if you don't want to worry about people clicking and bias and psychology and all those things, you can let the algorithm take the wheel. And in general, the truth is the way that shorts and vertical live streams works, the way that vertical video works on YouTube, whether it's a YouTube short or a live stream, is that more than any other format is letting the algorithm take the wheel. That's what that does. When you make long form and widescreen, both for videos and for live streams, you're relying a lot on human behavior and cognitive bias and people clicking on a thumbnail and a title. If you do vertical live streams and you do vertical short form videos, you don't have to convince anybody to click. They're scrolling, YouTube will take the wheel and it'll give you distribution and nobody had to choose you. So if you make the other content, people have to choose you. You have to win the popularity contest. You have to fight for the attention. If you make short form vertical videos, if you make short live streams, all you have to do is show up. All you have to do is use brute force. Not joking. Because think about it. No one has to choose the video. No one has to click on it. They just have to choose to stay once they get there. So that's the key. Doug, is it still doing the audio crackle now? Is it still doing it, or is it good now? Is it still doing it? Hang on. Okay. I hope it's good now, and I did a minor adjustment, so hopefully it's good now. Eventually, I'll figure out what's causing it. You have second thoughts on it being analog? No, Doug, I'm almost convinced that it is a signal or an analog thing. I don't even think it's the storms here. I mean, wait, you guys think it's a digital issue? Huh? Yeah. Yeah, I know most people feel that they prefer the widescreen format for live streams, but vertical is killing it on YouTube. It's the view numbers, it's not even close, to be honest with you. It's not close. I wonder what could be causing this issue with the audio. Because it just seems so weird to me how randomly it happens. And that now, because it did, by the way, it did not used to happen with this Rodecaster at all when I set up the new Rodecaster. So, like, I feel like it shouldn't be a hardware issue unless it's just this microphone. I don't know. Audio scratchy again. Hang on. All right. What about now? How's the audio now? Saying it's good now? Let's try something. And let's see if this all right, you guys saying it sounds good. Maybe it is on the digital side. All right, maybe I'm losing my mind. Mic check. Audio is perfect now. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, I spend way too much money on it to not be perfect. It's a slow night on channel reviews, but I don't mind that much. Eat plants, lift weight. Please review specifically on strategy. Channel is growing, but nowhere near close to 4K watch hours. Start a podcast to try to hit watch hours target, but only around 1.7K hours. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Eat plants, lift weights. Excuse me. And also, you'd be surprised if you're trying to hit watch hours. What I'd tell somebody, even if they know that deep down they want to do the long form and widescreen, is I would tell people that ultimately, and hey, lead attorney, I would tell people that you'd be surprised. You could get a lot out of the vertical live streams in terms of watch time. So if you're trying to get the 4,000 hours of watch time, vertical live streams, if you did them daily, could help. Because if, let's say you did vertical live streams and you did it for like 90 minutes, 2 hours a day. Oh, and Doug, make sure we get eat plants, lift weights into the form. But yeah, if you did the live streams daily and you could get 20 people to watch your live streams for an hour out of the 2 hours that you stream, you'd be in 20 hours a day. If you did that Monday through Friday, you'd be at about 100-hour week cadence. Oh, excuse me, right there. If you're at 100-hour a week cadence, you'd get 400 hours a week. So in a 12-week sprint, you'd absolutely hit your 4,000 hours in 12 weeks. So just doing vertical live streams Monday through Friday you could probably in 12 weeks or less get monetized on YouTube in terms of your watch hours. So I would look into that. But yeah, we're going to review your channel as soon as the mods get you in the form, and we'll plug you into my creator scorecard tool, and we'll see what it has to say. Yep. Yeah, it might be something physically with the microphone. It may be a matter of just cleaning the cleaning the connectors. So we'll see. Eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to integrate something with a Zapier function. If I can get a Zapier function to integrate, I can take it into a web tool, combine that with the YouTube API, then start a tracking protocol that when people send me super chats, I can actually snapshot a channel, get its data, and then every month run a running cron job to reindex and track its growth over time every month after its initial super chat. And so that would be an interesting way to track all of the channels that I've reviewed. And then for the ones we've been keeping in all these spreadsheets, eventually I could throw all of them into the tool and start tracking that way. Since we've been doing this spreadsheet for maybe a little over a year. So we probably have about maybe 500 channels or so, 300 to 500 channels in the last year from tracking it this way between me and the mod team. So then if I pull that into the tracking tool, if I build out a tracker, then that could be interesting in terms of just benchmarking the growth of everybody in this community who's ever submitted for that. So that could be interesting if I can manage to get that to work. I might try building that over the weekend and testing it. So we'll see. All right, looks like Doug's got you in the form, so we'll start the process here. If this thing wants to cooperate with me. And we'll also throw you into my tool. Throw you into creator scorecard. All right. And then, hey, Miami Cloud, good to see you. Working on tiles and banners. Shorts are doing okay, but long forms are still meh. Got 4 subs this week from shorts, still invisible to the algo. Focusing on posting new content. Yep, keep going. All right. So, eat plants, lift weights. Plain and simple. Love this banner, actually. So, that's pretty cool. Love the contrast. Love the color scheme there. Good profile pic, says what it is. You're almost to 1,000 subscribers, so congrats on that. Documenting my fitness journey of losing fat, gaining muscle as a vegan. Okay. So, very good. Interesting thumbnails. I would position and make the thumbnails probably a little bit more like some other channels in the niche, especially when I worked with Dr. Mike Diamonds is definitely the fat loss guy on YouTube. When I started working with him, he had 600,000 subscribers. He's over 2 million subscribers now, crushing it. I think we did like 8 calls together. So he's a little different than you, but he does pull things like the what I eat in a day as a vegan. Now, here's the thing. He's not vegan, but what I would have titled this video is people want a very specific outcome. You were like not entirely wrong with the what you eat to get the protein and then as a vegan, but here's how I would have titled this differently. Most people and most dudes, you know, they want to lose fat and build muscle. Specifically, most dudes want to get down to 10 or 12% body fat if they can, because that's when you look shredded, right? So if we know that, I would have made a video. It's not about changing this video, although the thumbnail needs a lot of work here. There's just a lot here that could be improved. I'd give this thumbnail a 1 out of 5. And that's not to be mean. It's like, it really does need help. There were some good things that had potential, but there's too much wrong with it to give it more than that. Maybe a 1.5 out of 5. But here's where I'm going with this. The title, What I Eat in a Day as a Vegan Athlete to Get 140 Grams of Protein. I understand what you were trying to accomplish with that. A better video idea would have been what I eat in, not what I eat in a day. A better idea would have been 15 foods to lose belly fat as a vegan. Most guys, if we're being honest, want to lose belly fat in addition to building muscle. It's our biggest vanity metric as guys. So if you had done a 10 foods to eat to lose belly fat as a vegan, that's a video that more people would click on. And it's a simpler to understand value proposition because it ties goal to identity. Do this thing to get this outcome if you're this kind of person. Frame a lot more of your videos from that formula that I just gave you. Do this thing to get this goal if you're this type of person. So 10 foods to eat to lose belly fat as a vegan. So that would be a change I'd make in a title, since you definitely said you wanted title advice. Thumbnail. Thumbnail needs a lot of work here. The protein, can't even really read the protein there. What I eat in a day, not an interesting enough value proposition. You literally might have been better off literally with no text in this thumbnail, if I'm being honest, and with just the food. The other thing is, I'll give you a primary example of what I'm talking about, just so that it's not vague. This is a former client of mine. Dr. Mike Diamonds, 2 million subscribers. I'm not saying you have to make these thumbnails, but look at this. If I need to drop, well, I wouldn't have said menopausal benefit because his audience is mostly men. So making a video targeting women is a new approach, but okay, cool. But if you wanted to do a video on the food you need to lose a certain amount of weight or do something like that, this type of thumbnail definitely works better. Now, some of these videos take forever to get views. So to just give you an example of stuff from the time and when we worked together, like some of these more popular videos, it's eating the food goes a long way. Showing the transformation, the before and after goes a long way. Showing a bunch of food in the thumbnail goes a long way. This is like closer from when we were working together. And so that's something you can do. And people will immediately kind of understand the story, even without text. Even without text, 5 dinner meals to lose belly fat, chest fat, and love handles. Easy win for any dude watching that and understands, do this thing to get this outcome. So again, in terms of thumbnails that work in your niche, you now have a reference point for, oh, these are what work. 10 foods you should eat every day to kill your visceral fat. Yeah, I'm clicking on that tomorrow. 5 best breakfast meals to lose belly fat, chest fat, and love handles. Oh, who doesn't want to lose belly fat, chest fat, and love handles? So again, it's making the goal very clear and it's making the action very clear. We need to click. Your addition to this is the identity of just adding as a vegan. So that's what would actually work for you here. I see that you do the podcast episodes. Let's see what your most popular stuff is. Actually, this is very good, and this is close to what you should be doing as far as I compared 50 vegan proteins. These 10 are dirt cheap. That could have been better though. I would have done this as how to find vegan or best foods for vegan protein on a budget, or best foods for high protein. Actually, yeah, this is the title. 10 best foods for high protein on a budget as a vegan. Because now you've got, here are 10 foods. They give you high protein. On a budget, so affordability, identity as a vegan. I need a budget way. I need a cheap way to get a lot of protein, but I'm also a vegan. Okay, cool. This video is for you. That's how you do the work, is like I said, here's your goal. Here's the thing you have to do to get your goal. And it's for you if you have this identity. Goal, process, identity. And yes, I will be doing more live streams like this. Let's see. So that should make sense. What else was in your message here? All right. So you're also talking about watch hours. For watch hours, consider your podcast. It seems to be doing some lifting for your watch hours, but consider the benefit of live streams to get the watch hours. But again, your video catalog is not terrible. And some of these thumbnails are actually really good. But the reality is your titles are probably what's killing you. Dude, this title and thumbnail was perfect. No wonder you got 17,000 views. You have 900 subscribers, 981 subscribers. This video got 17,000 views because this is the kind of video you should be making. It does everything. You're shredded and you have the body that everyone wants in the thumbnail. You have the food in your hand to show, I have this food, it's real, I have this plate in my hand. You're telling people this is the protein you're looking for, and you're telling them you're missing these 10 highest soy-free vegan proteins. Okay, so if someone's looking for protein and they're vegan, they want this, but you're also shredded. They want the body you have. That's the gap between you and the audience. They want the body you have, so you're presenting the ideal goal here. Then what you have is you have a clear story in this thumbnail. Even if we never read the title, you have a clear story in this thumbnail. Here's this jack dude. Here's all this protein on a plate. What is it? How am I missing out? Then you have a listicle. You have a listicle video that's telling people that there's 10 things that can give you this protein and you're missing out on them. You don't know what I know to have the body that I have. That's what this title and thumbnail combo says. If you knew what I knew, you would have the body that I have. Your thumbnails need to set up for that. And that would be what would help you. So I think that for you, that's kind of the deal. The other thing is transformation videos. Like the problem with this title, even though it's your second most valuable video, is you said 1 year CrossFit transformation. Here's what I learned. What it should have been is 1 year CrossFit transformation. Here's how or 1 year CrossFit transformation, how I lost 40 pounds, or how I lost 50 pounds, how I lost 80 pounds. So like, that's what you should have done with this title back then. Maybe you can still edit the title now if it's still getting views for you, but that's what I think would have made a real difference for your channel on that video. Because if you're saying you did a transformation, Tell us what the transformation is. There's nothing here that tells me you weren't already jacked. There's nothing here that tells me that you lost like 80 pounds. And that would be what I would want. I'd want it, well, if he can lose 80 pounds, then I can lose the 8 that I want. If I just do this. Or, oh, he lost 80 pounds. I can lose the 10 or 12 that I want. So we need a clear representation of the transformation. This one, the title did some good work here for the what I eat in a day as a vegan to get 120 grams of protein, the lazy edition. But the thumbnail is atrocious. I'm giving it a 1 out of 5 because but I'll give the title a 3.5 out of 5. The title did all the work here. If a title and thumbnail work together like your big one did, you can get 10,000, 20,000 views easily. But when a title and thumbnail don't work together, the views suffer. So ironically, the thumbnail next to this one, if that thumbnail style had been on the thumbnail to the left, if the center thumbnail or even the thumbnail on the far right had been the one on the far left there, then that video there from 7 months ago on the far left probably would have gotten 10,000 views if it had a thumbnail as good as these two. But if the title on these had been as good as this one, then these would have had 10,000 views. So your big problem is title and thumbnail mismatches in a lot of cases. Yeah, and if a video is still getting views, even if it's imperfect, it can be worth updating a title or a thumbnail or both. So it could be totally worth it. Let's see what my tool creator scorecard tells us about your channel. Not doing bad for 1.8 years of having a channel. Let's see. So in a 90 days, in a 90-day period, you're kind of actually on upward trajectory over the last 90 days. And it looks like that's attributable to shorts. So shorts are helping you. So keep that up. Even though I know your goal is watch time, shorts have helped you at least with subscribers most likely. And just more reach and exposure. So that's a good, interesting indicator. Let's see. You've been doing more shorts output, and that's clearly been what's affected the growth. I have to make this not count its theoretical extrapolation of what, because it thinks you have the watch time, but I have to see why it does, and I'm gonna have to adjust that because that estimate is off. Let's see, because you said you're at 1.7K, so I have to see what's making the estimator off for that. Your channel upload cadence is amazing. Let's see if there's any pattern. And let's make it for your long form videos since that's what you care about. So you upload the most on these days. That's your cadence and consistency metrics. Interesting. And then let's look at long form videos, average 1.k views. Shorts average less views. A decent distribution of your views are in the 1K to 5K range, which is what you'd want at this point. You want more of that, but it'll come. And then, of course, you have your one major outlier. And let's look at the overall channel audit. The grader is giving you an overall a B, which is probably better than you thought it would give you. But don't be surprised. You're actually doing pretty good. Your year-over-year growth is actually a C, which is better than mine right now. Month over month is lagging. Content diversity is good. Title length optimization is decent. Engagement rate, good. And let's analyze these. Yep, I'm not surprised it's being harsh on your thumbnail grades. Still need to tweak the thumbnail analyzer, but I am not surprised at what it's given back on these. Among the channels of your size that we have benchmarked, you're actually performing better than most of the channels that are in this bracket that we've snapshot. So let's see, at least even on average views per video. So again, don't feel too bad. The engagement rate could be a little bit better. You're definitely beating your peers on uploads per month, but not on subscriber growth. Interesting. And that's based on 1,300 other channels we've snapshotted in this tier in terms of your subscriber count. So again, you're not doing terrible among your cohort. That's also why you get an overall channel grade of a B for everything. And if we, let's see what the diagnosis is. Let's see what our tool diagnosed here. By the way, your channel performance radar says that you're actually pretty strong in most things. Growth and consistency is not terrible because of your shorts consistency, but on your long form, it could be better. And overall, of course, we want more growth. We're always going to want that. Let's see, your top competitive strengths are excellent title optimization, robust year-over-year growth, and let's see, recent trends directly impede subscriber growth and momentum. Yep. Analyze your underperforming long-form videos to identify common themes and topics, thumbnails, and intros, and test new content, angles, and hooks for better performance of the videos. Yeah, that in the title and topic selection, but also the title thumbnail combinations. We found some weaknesses there when we looked at it manually. So again, the channel audit for the creator scorecard did not do bad in getting some things right about your channel. My manual review, my human review of your channel, I think was more insightful, but this data is also still good to acknowledge. And again, looking at the impact that shorts have had on your channel is a positive upward trend, even though it doesn't give you the watch time you're looking for. But yeah, so those are the things that I'd be looking at. Overall, eat plants, lift weights. You've got a strong foundation for your channel. There are some things you can do specifically in your title framing being much stronger and aligning to goal, process, and identity. Get this outcome by doing this thing if you're this type of person. That is really the format and structure that your titles need to be successful. And in your thumbnails, you need to show the transformation and you need to storytell at a glance. Get this jacked body by doing this thing needs to be very adamant when we look at your thumbnails at a glance, instantly. And that will solve majority of your issues, believe it or not. So that is something that I strongly advise that you look at. And you are exactly the kind of person we're looking for in Awesome Creator Academy, even though you're a smaller channel. We do have smaller channels. We have a lot of channels that are significantly larger, as well. But we have helped people with smaller channels grow. So if you want to join the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, make sure you're checking that out. And I will just go ahead and pop this up on the screen for you or anyone else that was interested in that. But yeah, excellent job overall. I think the channel has potential. I think that there are just like these very small but very important things that you have to get right, because it wasn't an accident that your best video got 17,000 views, even though you got 900 subscribers, or that most of your subscribers came from that. If you really literally frame more of your content around what worked well for that video, it is leading you to the clues that will actually increase your performance. And so think about it, if every video accomplished what that video did, you'd have no problems. So that's the goal. Yeah. So I see we got plenty of more super chats. And we also got a ton of comments. Yes, I will be doing more streams like these, probably on Fridays. If I miss Fridays, we'll do them Saturdays. Yes, we are still taking requests. Previous video on what I eat in a day keeps getting views, so I tried to make it again and again, trying to come up with a series. There's a way to do that series. It's just not being executed and packaged correctly, but there is a way to do that series. Exploring Canada, what's up? For Rachel Smets channel, okay. Should I keep making Meghan Markle videos? I worry because my videos with other celebrities flop, so maybe the topic or person is wrong. Current viewers equal 55 plus female viewer ideas. Okay, so I would reverse engineer why people specifically gravitate toward Meghan Markle, and I would try to create profiles around like what else they would watch, and then I'd also reverse engineer just celebrity gossip in a different way. And I think the issue is not other celebrities thing. I think that what you're missing is people care about contentious couples and couples drama. So I think your issue is that you're thinking, or your friend Rachel rather, I think for Rachel, she's thinking that, and I think wrongfully that, and by the way, the videos aren't flopping. It's just that you want the videos that the Meghan views are giving you, because I'm going to bring up the channel, but these videos are not flopping. So here's what's happening with Rachel Smets' channel. The most popular videos are the Meghan Markle videos, and then everyone likes the, their videos that get the most views, but these other celebrity videos aren't necessarily flopping. It's that you got so many subscribers and views from the Meghan videos that you want all of your views to do what the Meghan videos did, because watch this. This one, even though it had Meghan in the title, was about Victoria Beckham, and then this one is other celebrities, and you're doing the versus Meghan Markle. So I get what you're doing, but it's not that your only successful videos were Meghan Markle on a whole. You did get decent views on this Sarah Jessica Parker video, and there are videos you've done about Meghan that also did not get more than 6,000 views as well. Now, the reason the Kamala Harris video didn't do well is because, again, most people just don't. If people don't like her, they don't want to watch a video about her for the most part. And also, people don't like politics if it's not a politics channel. Let's see. Same thing with the Michelle Obama. So, I mean, you literally got 11,000 views on Tom Cruise, and there are videos you did of Meghan that didn't get 11,000 views. So the thing is, it's a matter of there are people that you can make videos about that aren't Meghan Markle. What I would say is that couples and people that are part of contentious couples are probably going to be the key. But also, I think that someone has to be at the level of notoriety and star power of a Meghan Markle. You got this Kamala one, but it was timing, probably, because that was probably election time. So that's probably why. Your thumbnails are excellent, by the way. Thumbnails are excellent. Excellent. Trying to do excellent. That's Mr. Burns there. Excellent. Excellent. Right. So I would say that you need someone with the same level of star power and notoriety as Meghan Markle, but is in a contentious and situation, probably part of a power couple that people really, one, recognize immediately, has that level of gravitas and star power, but also that people can't get enough of. So I would say that and it probably needs, again, be people from a power couple, probably the female in the power couple. So on the level of a Meghan Markle, and then also you're using negativity bias. So I think that's going to probably be, actually, I would look at doing Kylie Jenner, and because of also the association with her with being with Timothy Chalamet. So I would probably look at, can you do Kylie Jenner? She's recognizable as a glance. She's part of an established power couple. There's contention. There's things people don't like about her. People are always willing to dunk on a Kardashian. So that is probably someone at that level. In terms of people that people think are fake or a bit phony, you could probably, and it was immediately recognizable at a glance. If you haven't experimented with this, especially since there's a little bit of crossover there. Emma Watson, even though she's not part of a power couple, people immediately at a glance recognize her. And if you're saying that there's a criticism to have of her, people will be here for it. Taylor Swift's a part of a power couple, and she does get herself into controversy. So it's possible that people would watch a video like that if the framing is right. So, and then in terms of your expectation of views, I know your preference would always be to get these 20,000, 50,000, so on and so forth. But if a video can get even 5,000 views, it's not a flop. And just because it doesn't get those views, if it could get 5,000 views, and then for all you know, it will get 50, 60, 20,000 views. I would look at Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber's wife. I would see if there's anything there, because people are really invested in Justin Bieber right now narratively with everything he's been through. So I would look at that. If you want a positive frame, consider seeing if a video on Shia LaBeouf would work if you want a redemption frame and not to always go super, super negative. The fall and the rise, fall, and rise again of Shia LaBeouf. Maybe that's something people would want, or the deserved redemption of Shia LaBeouf. I think people would actually click on that. Why Shia LaBeouf deserves his redemption. Why Justin Bieber deserves his redemption. If you wanted something that isn't always that negative, but still has seedy details of a downfall, but then a comeback, you could go with these golden boys that fell and then made good and came back. Shia LaBeouf, Justin Bieber. If you want to look at, is someone fake or are they grifting? Who's to say? People don't 100% believe in the conversion of Russell Brand. You could explore that. So there you go. Those would be some ideas topically. Let's see what Creator Scorecard has to say. So let's feed another channel into my tool. So we got Rachel Smets, 3 million lifetime views. That definitely deserves air horn. Long form views, 73 shorts. Oh, we didn't really look too hard at the shorts, but we'll get there. 90 days, 1 year. That's shorts. Video's doing good. Excellent. Distribution of videos to shorts. A lot of diversity there. Not as many live streams, clearly. Good activity and streak here. High concentration. We like to see that. So very good. Jolly good. Distribution of videos by format. Average views. So your average views for long form are 21,000. Again, I don't think you're flopping. I think that you're being too hard on your videos. Your distribution of views, you also are like way too hard on your videos. You have 20,000 subscribers. Look at your distribution of views. Your distribution of views is extraordinarily healthy for a channel your size. But again, how would you know? If I didn't have a tool like this to show you and to analyze it, how would you know that, actually a lot of my videos do really good in comparison to each other. You have very little flops. You have in the last 100 videos out of 20, well, actually out of the last 27 videos that were long form, a very small portion of them actually flopped at 0 to 1K. And then you had a significant amount of them that did decently, what I would say is decently at 1K to 5K for your channel size. And then look at all these videos that did 5 to 10K. None of these are flops. So it's a pretty good, healthy distribution, I would say. So again, I don't think you should feel bad about that. In fact, a lot of you underperformers were most likely shorts, to be honest. But don't stop doing the shorts. It's still helping with new reach and discovery, and they could blow up later. Oh, as for what this tool is, this is a creator scorecard. You guys can't buy it publicly yet. I'm still at least 3 to 6 months away from that in development. I still feel like I'm 80% of where I want it to be, but I still need to run it through a professional developer, have them audit it for me. And I need to tweak the code base, but it's a really strong tool, as you can see even now. It does some stuff that no other tool does. So that's cool. Your report card grade is a C. Do not take that too harshly. You're doing excellent in multiple categories. It's mostly hitting you on growth, but we're here to solve growth. So we can't be perfect everywhere. And when it says F, don't take it personally there. Like, I have Fs on the growth side for this, and I have A's and B's and everything else. So don't take that to heart. Let's see. Analyze thumbnails. I need to make sure that when it analyzes thumbnails, I mean, some people make thumbnails for their shorts, but maybe I need to have a toggle for long form versus short form on that. But let's see. It's saying, aside from shorts thumbnails, which is, again, it doesn't matter. This is not bad. Benchmarks, your score versus your peer average, and how many channels in your tier did we measure? You're doing good on average video views compared to your peers, and we measured 111 channels of similar size to yours, so not quite our 1,000 channel sample size that we would want for benchmarking. So you do excellent on average views per video. You're not uploading as much per month in long form, it seems, as your peers. Views per subscriber and engagement rate is a little lower. I suspect that that's people watching on their televisions, though. And you are in the top 25% of your overall peer group. So excellent job on that. Looks like you're at the upper echelon over all of your peer group. So I'm going to save that snapshot. So again, I think there's a lot of great things happening with your channel, and I think that you may be judging your channel a lot harder than I am, a lot harder than my tool is. And then let's see what the recommendation summary for your channel is. Rachel Smets' channel excels with the perfect title length optimization, impressive shorts conversion rates indicating strong content appeal, effective discoverability. Most impactful weakness to address is extremely low month over month and year over year subscriber growth, as consistent audience expansion is critical for long-term channel health and monetization. To improve subscriber growth, immediately cut back shorts production and focus on long-form videos that leverage high view performance averages. My take is more nuanced than that. My take is more consistency on the long forms, more of this expansion into the themes of the videos that we talked about when I did my human review. And I don't necessarily think you need to drastically cut back shorts, but you can cut back shorts by 20 to 30% to focus on the long form. So I'll kind of agree with the AI recommendation there. I don't think it was that far off, but yeah, I think that overall, very solid. And I think that we worked out ways to improve some of your long form, which is definitely something you were looking for. So great job there. So yeah, thank you, Exploring Canada, for sending your friend for a channel review. Miami Cloud, we got you next. I just got my thing out of order, but Doug's holding me accountable. So Miami Cloud, we've got you up next, and I know you're working on your titles, your banners, your shorts are doing okay, but long form is still meh. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll benchmark you there. But yeah, let's go to the chat and see what's up in the chat. It looks like we got a couple of more super chats as well. So we've got Miami Cloud, we've got K.D. Will, and we've got vstreetlove, and that probably is all we're gonna do for channel reviews tonight, because what does that put us at? That puts us at 6. Yeah, we'll do 6. We'll do 6 and we'll call it a night. Almost out of kombucha anyway, so I have to switch over to water. Let's see. K.D. Will, thank you. Channel review, please. Used to tell stories of my experience in Japan using AI anime pictures, but I changed teaching AI animation because my audience kept asking me in the comments how I was doing it. Love your content. Okay, cool. That'll be an interesting channel. And then we have Miss Vanessa Street, vstreetlove, tips for adding more games into my channel to grow. Too soon or just the right time to do that? Also thinking of adding book or movie reviews to be an overall entertainment creator. Interesting. Variety channels rarely work on YouTube, but variety content does work for streaming on Twitch, would be my advice. But we'll look at the channel and get you into the review queue. But next is Miami Cloud. So let's see here. All right, so next up we have Miami Cloud. Defend your career, layoff protection, corporate survival, digital mentorship. Right on. New videos weekly. So most of the videos here are probably going to be shorts. 23 videos still is very early for YouTube to pick up on things. Thumbnails are excellent. Let's see. Before layoffs put you at risk, here's how I speak like a leader. Again, with this, most people who are at risk for layoffs are not going to be in leadership. And speaking like a leader isn't the thing that people are looking for. Right now with layoffs, you have to really lean into the exact corporate narrative of what people are going through. So for example, so let's see. In YouTube itself, let's see what would be getting views right now. So this is fired, don't panic, do this immediately. That's literally much more direct in terms what to do when you get fired. That that's much more direct. What to do if you're about to get fired. This is literally the video you should make. What to do if you're about to get fired. Like, you should absolutely make this video and make that your own. I know you're familiar with life after layoff, but literally that. What to do when you're terminated from a job, overcome being fired in 6 steps. This video is good, but it's also 5 years old. It's outdated. It's a perfect candidate for you to make a version of this video. Mammy, I'm going to say something and I want you to take it to heart. You are not allowed to make any video that has the frame of leadership in the title for 1 year. Anything with leader or how to speak is banned from the channel for 1 year. Focus specifically on, like, so no more say this to get this, no more speak like this. Nothing leadership or how to talk or how to speak is allowed on the channel for 1 year. Give me 1 year. Your focus has to be on being fired, being laid off, being downsized. And in terms of defending and protecting your career, it's also got to be about how to deal with like how to rebuild your career after 40. This is the kind of thing people need. How can you successfully change your career after 40? That sort of thing. Yeah, look at this. This video is outdated, and maybe you should look more at the Brave Thinking Institute stuff. But think about it like this: how to make a career change after 40. This is 10 years old, has 215 views. This is what I call the viral vault strategy. Find outdated videos in your niche that have at least 100,000 to 1 million views and are at least 3 years old or more, and make a new version of that video. I wouldn't focus on budgeting. I wouldn't focus on that. I would specifically focus on the career stuff. Stuck at 40. Here's the career pivot to build wealth. This one, I wouldn't use the build wealth. I would use some other, something else there. But again, if you have this identity, get this goal by doing this thing. If this is who you are, do this thing to get what you want. That's the framing. So your content should tell somebody, if you are this person, aka this person over 40, this person over 50, and this is what you're afraid of, or this is what you're trying to achieve, do this thing. So it's about trying to find a way to be directionally correct, but also it's about meeting the moment. It's about meeting the moment. And this moment, watch this. If you're afraid of being replaced by AI, you need to do this. Watch this. All right, no, let me rephrase the title. If you're 40 and afraid AI will replace your career, watch this video. So watch that. So if you're over 40, so that's the identity, and you're afraid that AI will replace your career, thing you don't want to happen, watch this video, aka do this thing. Another way to make that video is, if you're over 40 and afraid AI will take your job, do this now. Those are triggers to urgency that immediately meet people where they are and confront the thing that they are afraid of, and offers them a way to deal with the conflict. So that's what I would do when it comes to your content strategy. overall. Let's see what Creator Scorecard has to say about Mr. Miami Cloud. Channel audit is giving you a B overall, probably toward a portion of that being towards your short form content. It's still picking up thumbnails from the other channel, so I'll just click reanalyze. There we go. Yeah, it understands your thumbnails are good, but again, the positioning of the content is the issue. And again, it's picking up the shorts thumbnails. I find that annoying. Let's see. Over 40 and afraid AI will take your job. Do these 10 things right now. Yeah, it's primarily going to focus on titles and thumbnails here, but also what it doesn't get into context is the positioning of your channel. It still is not directionally correct. Let's see. Yep, basically saying not a high level of data yet. Definitely wants thumbnail quality to improve. But for starting out and for your concentration of time of putting in effort, the consistency cadence is there. So again, good energy on the effort being put into the channel right now. Good overall cadence for right now. And also, again, you're trying to pivot the direction of the channel. So again, let's see. For 14 subscribers, the view performance is actually still pretty good, actually. Even for the number of uploads, most people still wouldn't get that. But also you're pivoting directions. Yeah. So again, overall, I know that you're going to be able to work this out. And again, I think there's a lot of positive things happening with the channel. I think it's just about making sure that it's now directionally correct. So, yeah, ultimately, good job. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree with what I have to say? What do you think about Creator Scorecard and about the data that we're getting back? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're watching live in the chat. But yeah, so those would be my thoughts. Hey, David. Good to see you here, man. You're killing it right now, David. Your channel's been doing excellent. Cannot wait to do a 2026 one-on-one call with you because I see what you've got going on the channel. I gotta imagine the business is doing very well right now. So shout out to you, David Matney, King of Omaha Real Estate. This guy's actually killing it right now. Yep, Doug holding it down in the chat. Thanks, Doug. Tonight would not be going as smoothly without you. Yeah, I'm going to have to work something into my tool specifically around title recommendations, but this tool will never be as good at title recommendations as me. For title recommendations, I actually barely want to even touch it. I just kind of have to. But really, for titles, 1 of 10 is probably one of the best tools besides using ChatGPT or Claude directly. 1 of 10 is going to be one of the best tools for title suggestions and ideas for a lot of you. But a human being is usually going to be better, but it's not always available. I'm not always going to be around. Someone's not always going to be around to bounce ideas off of. So like a human is probably better for titles and topics, and there's nuance and back and forth there. Conversationally, I would say Claude over ChatGPT conversationally, possibly Grok as well. to bounce title ideas off of. ChatGPT is getting flat for that, for title ideas. So I would say Claude and Grok are probably better. Even Gemini for title ideas. YouTube Ask Studio has that built in. But for holistically, topic titles, thumbnails, and relevancy, 1 of 10 is probably the best tool in the market for that. My tool is meant to be something completely different. Something completely different that doesn't compete there. And I'm pulling different data. But for actual ideation, 1 of 10. My tool is strictly an analytics and benchmarking and just big data tool. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 1 of 10 is the best tool for YouTube strategy. They're also a sponsor of our channel review streams and our live streams. If you use code Roberto at checkout, you get 20% off for life. It's actually a really good overall tool. And it definitely helps creators when it comes to just the different parts of YouTube ideation for the features. So for one thing, the thumbnail for tonight's live stream was done with 1 of 10. So you can use the thumbnail generator. Even if you're good at Photoshop like me, sometimes just faster to make one that way. You can find outlier videos in your niche. You have a title and idea generator, and it's really good. So I would say that for at least the what should I make part of a conversation, 1 of 10 is probably the best overall tool that you can use if your goal is to figure out what to make and how to package it. If you want to know what to make and how to package it, this is the tool you want to use. Now, after that, there are other things to take into consideration. So, for example, what to make and how to package it is one thing, but then understanding your audience overall and then how they might receive something. That's a little different because this may be a good idea, but do you want that audience, or do you want to open yourself up to the way that they might receive it, or how it could attract an audience you're not aligned to? That's a little bit more nuanced. And that's where like a human being and some conversations of just because you can do something and it might blow up and get views, oh, do you want those views from those people? And do you want to deal with the comments? That's another conversation. Or, okay, will this attract the audience I'm really looking for, or just a audience? So things to consider. Yeah, you've been swamped, David. Yeah, good to hear, man. Very happy for you. Let's see. Getting tired. It's a good thing we only have 2 channels left. How did I get my image in the one-on-one landing page? When you work with somebody and they sponsor you and they give your audience a substantial lifetime discount code, you can ask for getting your image in a landing page for them to give you a custom landing page for your affiliate code. When they're giving your audience 20% off, you can ask for those things, like how I asked for the 20% off coupon for the audience, you know? So if you work out a good relationship with a brand as an affiliate partner or a sponsor partner, again, we might do another open workshop around brand deals when I get closer to releasing my brand deals calculator. Because what y'all don't know is your boy is working on multiple projects at once. So your boy's working on multiple projects at once. For example, so like, again, working with a brand, working with an affiliate, but your boy did not just vibe code a YouTube channel auditing tool. Your boy is doing multiple revenue calculators and is building the ultimate brand deal calculator. This one will be a paid product, but It'll be like you can pay for it for the lifetime when it's done, but it is not ready yet. Um, it still has a lot of tweaking that I want to do, and then some of the numbers I need to run against brand fetch for benchmarking of the accuracy of certain things. I'm gonna also have for some of the things because we're reverse. So my approach to making a brand calculator was not what anyone else would do. I just reverse engineered contracts I actually had and then built a calculator against the line items in contracts I already had because I've done over 100 brand deals. I have like 100 actual signed legal contracts over the years. So I actually redacted, reverse engineered, and extrapolated from my legal contracts that I've ever signed. Well, what was in the deal that we did? Like, have I done an ambassador deal where I've been paid monthly for that? Have I done an amplification deal? Have I done these larger super affiliate commissions? Have I done in-person activations? I'm a public speaker. Of course I've done that. And there's travel fees. I'm doing one with YouTube literally next week. So I fly out for that on Tuesday and I present for YouTube at a live workshop on Wednesday. And I got paid for that. Now, again, you can plug and do different things with these numbers, but your boy is building all the best tools that the creator economy could ever ask for. And so, again, this will be like pay $2.99, own it forever when it's done and get all of the updates. But yeah, this is something I've been working on in addition to my channel grading tool. But yeah, so I've been working on a ton of like crazy stuff in my vibe coding journey. I'm probably like almost 100 hours into my vibe coding journey, so it's been super interesting to be doing that. I do have something that is for public consumption that you guys can check out right now that actually works and it's basically done and doesn't need more development. Check out creatordictionary.com when you guys get a chance, because that's another thing I've made and it actually is finished, and it works. I'm going to leave it in chat for you, Creator Dictionary. Anytime you don't know a word that comes up in the creator economy or the context or in a brand deal contract, or you hear a creator educator say something and you're like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You can actually look it up. We have over 1,000 terms. I trained this on my book that I wrote, and I trained this on my second book, and I trained this on some of my legal contracts, and I trained it on a bunch of things. So the other cool thing is it also will give you references to other related terms and definitions. So it will, like, for example, brand deals also relates to UGC, user generated content, also relates to influencer marketing, also relates to brand agency, also reverts to hosted ad read, also relates to dynamic ad insertion. So you can learn a lot more about the creator economy by just going through and seeing like what these actual terms mean. So I created this workable holistic dictionary, and it works excellently on mobile. It has a search bar, and that actually functionally works. And eventually I will actually make a print book, and then like it also tells you whenever we update this with recently added terms. Then it has like all of those, and then it has some that were coined by me. And so Big Creator Energy, Deal Framework, Creator OS, Destination Channel, these were coined by me. So those are originals to me, and it acknowledges those and credits me for those. We have the categories here for you to like, oh, this one, this one, this one. So you can learn more about like things that maybe terms in production and editing that you don't know. And so color scopes for color grading, for example. So there's a lot of interesting things that you can do with Creator Dictionary. It's pretty cool. $10.99, again, very important to know the difference between a $10.99 and a W-2. So probably gonna need to add a definition for a W-9 in there. Yeah, actually, I remember this book, Vanessa. It was the Graphic Designer's Handbook or Graphic Designer's Market, both of those. And yeah, I read that. I know that, and I studied as a freelancer, and that helped inform a lot of my methodology. So yeah, so creatordictionary.com. That's something live, and that's something that I built, and you can check it out. And it's completely free, by the way. It's completely free. You're welcome. I've got some more stuff that I've been working on that I'm gonna be releasing, and yeah, I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. Let's see. Sierra Michelle says, "My sister put me on to you. She just hit 500 subscribers from going live. Congratulations! Shout out to your sister. Tell her I say hi." Um, let's see. Yeah, but so yeah, I've been working on a lot of cool stuff in the background, and again, it's why I told you guys that if you want to join the academy, it's a really good time to do it between now and April, because after April, if you want to join the academy pro group, it's going to be significantly more expensive, because if you think I've been doing a lot of this stuff and it's been wild, we're adding so much more value to the pro group, and there's going to be early access to a lot of things. Pro group members are going to get free access to certain things. I'm going to be unleashing so much value, so many tools. I'm even going to be coming back to long form content myself after a little bit more travel and some of the work that I'm doing with Team YouTube on these workshops. Me and Team YouTube, we did a podcast together last 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it'll come out, I think, in another week or so on the Creator Insider channel for their podcast. So I went and I was working with Team YouTube on that around stuff for YouTube shopping. We did the IRL shopping workshop in LA that some of you went to, besides the thing I did with them in San Bruno. And then we're doing this one for South by Southwest in Austin. If this goes well, we're probably going to do another one. So we're kind of doing almost like this tour, you know, like regionally around this stuff. So I've been working with YouTube on that. They've been excellent partners to work with. So I've been wanting to do my long form content, but I'm speaking at like so many events coming up this year. I'm speaking at Social Media Marketing World. I just got approved for VidCon. I'm doing a workshop at Craft and Commerce in Idaho later this year. We're gonna see if I do FinCon again, because I think they're coming back to Atlanta, so I might do that. I did PodFest. We might be doing VidFest. I'm going to see if I can make it to Seattle Creator Summit. I may not be able to do that one. Hopefully, as per usual, the plan is to try to do Vid Summit, of course. As long as they're willing to have me, I'm willing to go. So it's a lot of the travel and the public speaking. I'm so happy to be speaking again after the pandemic. But it does with all this stuff between building tools, public speaking, coaching clients, the academy, doing some brand consulting, doing UGC for brands. It's a lot. It does make it hard to do long form content, but the long form content is coming back. I promise it's coming back with a vengeance. Podcast is coming back with a vengeance. All I have to do is stay healthy. All I have to do is also lose 8 more pounds this year. So, trying to do that. All the things. But yeah, I'm more excited than I've ever been about content, and a lot of it is because of just doing so much. So again, just trying to create the best resources for you guys as content creators, so that you guys can keep growing. So with that in mind, let's look at K.D.Wilson. I also think I put you in the scorecard here, so I think we're good. And yeah, anime channel. And you're now doing AI anime, and you were doing stuff around your experiences in Japan, so that's dope, because people were requesting it. But we'll see what's been the most popular with your audience. So this is actually really solid, how to make anime fight scenes with AI that actually look good. I think you need to figure out a series around that. The reality, let's see. So how I made AI. Oh, this is okay. I see why you are kind of, I think you can. All right. So interestingly, I don't think you have a variety channel, but I think you can do a variety of things. So your channel isn't a variety channel, and it's not that you need to switch to, just the AI art stuff. You can do all of this and it still works, because I'll tell you what your actual channel is. You may not know this. Your channel is that you are what we used to call an otaku back in the day. And you're old enough to probably know that. You know what an otaku is. You're younger than me, so your generation calls it a weeb now. So there are like a couple of phrases that describe what you and your channel actually are. Some people will use the phrase Japanophile. I don't love that one. Some people will use the phrase weeb. I don't love that one. Otaku is the one I favor just because I'm an OG. And it's the word that the Japanese would use to describe, your what you are. So you're an otaku. You are somebody that is having the experience of living in Japan. You love everything about Japanese culture. You're dating Japanese women. You're into Japanese anime. You're having experiences in Japan. And you're an American doing that. And people are really interested in what is that like. But you also are using AI to get yourself into the thing that every otaku, every anime kid, every weeb actually dreams about, which is, what if I could make anime? And so think about it. You're living the dream. You're an anime and gamer dude living in Japan, dating Japanese women, and now you're attempting to make anime. That is dope. And AI is letting you do that. So you actually can do all of this on the same channel, because what you're actually doing is you are basically living the dream. Okay? I know I keep saying that, but think about it. So you don't have to stop making the lifestyle content and the stuff about your Japanese experience to exclusively focus on this, because again, you interject the AI anime stuff you are making of your adventures into the story time and storytelling videos, so you can keep doing that and people will still care about it. So it doesn't have to be that you become only a tutorial channel. That just becomes one pillar. You really need to keep making these videos about your relationships in Japan and the reality of it, and also being an American in Japan, especially right now with the new prime minister. So you need to keep doing that, but then interjecting the AI animation into those videos, and then people will care about it. Also, do things with YouTube Shorts around stuff like the experiences and culture in Japan, and things like the vending machines, and do stuff like that. People will love to see that. People want to see weird Japanese exclusive culture, like the Love Hotel stuff, the vending machines, finding places from anime in Japan itself. People want to see that. So again, I think you can do this. But again, this is having a hot moment of the fight scenes and the anime stuff with the AI. It's having a moment. What you don't want to do is miss out on the audience you already built vibing with your channel to go into a trend that could become very saturated or could disappear overnight. The unique opportunity and unique thing that you have is that you live in Japan, which means there's content you can only make because you live in Japan that people would care about, and it's gotten you this far. So do not lose that component from the channel, because again, yes, some of the AI stuff is getting views, but not all of it is getting more views than just talking about your actual experience and then animating your adventures in Japan. So the thing is, keep having adventures in Japan and then animate your adventures in Japan alongside talking to them. And then you become kind of like Swoozy. I know you must have watched Swoozy when you were coming up on YouTube or growing up with YouTube, you must have watched one of my favorite creators, Swoozy, the godfather of animated storytelling. So you can, if you keep having stories to tell that are interesting and then animating portions of those stories as you tell them, that is what will be interesting. And yes, people will want to learn from you, but you don't have to become a tutorial channel exclusively. You can do some of those. You can mess with the new AI tools. You can reference them. You can do that stuff, but it's actually more interesting if you use it to tell stories that you're living, because that's what made people ask you about this. They asked you about this because they saw it in your videos and they saw characters and style and stuff that they weren't seeing before, and that's why. So teaching people about what your experience is in Japan and showcasing that, but then also animating it, is why people cared enough to ask you for the tutorials. Start gatekeeping a little bit. You can tease that and you can grow your school community. But again, this banner and your channel doesn't need to be about creating AI anime. It needs to be about you being obsessed with Japan. And you should showcase living in Japan, being obsessed with Japan, and then you should animate those things. And yeah, you're saying it yourself. You got compared to Swoozy a couple of times in the comments, but people want that. People want their generation of another YouTuber. People who watch Ryan Trahan compare him to Casey Neistat because he's the Casey Neistat for their generation. So there always needs to be a reincarnation of a successful YouTuber, believe it or not. It's not about being the bargain basement version. It's about being a reincarnation. What would, if this person were born 10 years later, what would they be like? And that would be the thing. And so, or if this person had only done this, what would they be like? Okay, so that's the thing. So I would say, again, you are living the dream for a lot of people. Every weeb, every otaku, every Japanophile wants to actually go and live in Japan, wants to go and actually date in Japan, and wants to create anime, and you are doing all three of those. You need to talk about all three of those experiences on your channel, because your channel is not about one thing. It's about everything that encompasses living the dream of every kid who ever grew up watching Toonami. Because that's what you're doing. That's what your channel represents. Your channel is not an AI anime channel. Your channel is not a dating in Japan channel. Your channel is living the dream. It is living the dream of every kid who grew up watching anime, who grew up playing Japanese video games and JRPGs. You are living that dream, and that is what your channel represents. Your channel represents wish fulfillment to anybody who ever wanted that, and makes them see what getting it would actually be like. Is it everything I imagined? Is it not? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it attainable? Those are the things people care about. So those are my thoughts on your channel. But what do you guys think of K.D.Wilson's channel? Actually, wait, not done, because I got to run you through Creator Scorecard. Almost forgot. So used to doing it without this. So yeah. So let's see what we got here. And we'll just look at with videos rather than shorts. Okay, you don't have as much short form, hardly any short form. Okay, boom, ramp up period. Very good, nice. Last 90 days, very nice. Not at your peak, but that's okay. But again, resurging after 90 days, so we can get there. Active, longest streak 2 days. Pattern analysis, calendar, okay. A lot of gaps in there, but you know, you can get back on the horse, so to speak. Channel audit grade is a C, so there's room for improvement. We'll generate the response there. Most of this is growth related, so I'm not that worried about it. analyze the thumbnails. I am curious about this. Well, that video underperformed in views anyway, so yes, that makes sense. That's about what I expect from the thumbnail grader at this point for a channel like yours. Distribution of views. A lot of your videos are actually doing significantly well. Look at this. You're represented across almost every tier of views. You're represented across almost every tier of views. So that's a strong indicator. Interesting on the live streams there. When you do go live, you do perform extremely well. Interesting. I wonder if those were vertical live streams. And then actually, what did your performance radar say? It was growth. Yep, for the performance. And content diversity. Yeah. Okay, not surprising there. K.D.Wilson strong with growth, exceptional view performance, average demonstrates compelling content. Aha! Compelling content that consistently resonates with the audience. Most impactful weakness to address is an annual upload volume. Yeah, upload more videos, be more consistent, increasing output from 14 videos to 45 videos a year. Yeah, weekly cadence. Yep, absolutely. Duh. Yep, that would do it. So yeah, your big thing is consistency and content output. Not shocking there. You'd probably be an A or a B grade channel with that and not having issues in growth. So not surprised. Yeah, the analysis did actually meet with my own recommendation there. Again, strong showing in view distribution overall. This thumbnail probably could have been stronger and then this would have gotten more views, but I still don't think these views are bad at all for what it is. 7,000 views, 22,000 subscribers on apartment tour in Japan with that thumbnail. Not bad at all. Yeah, no, I'm actually fairly impressed and satisfied with your channel. Oh wait, what was the benchmarking compared to channels of your size? So let's see. Yeah, you're very high in your tier among your cohort. We've only measured 100 channels in your cohort, though. Yep. Still micro creator. Yep. At the extreme end, you're in the extreme end of views for your cohort. Extreme end there. Not in the extreme end of engagement, though. Much higher score than most of your peers on average, and it'd actually be fairly easy for you to get your score up. So yeah, overall, very solid performance. Good showing here. Good job, K.D.Wilson. But what do you guys think in the comments or in the chat of K.D.Wilson's channel? Again, do you agree with me that what his channel is actually about is living the dream for every weeb who ever grew up watching anime by being in Japan, dating in Japan, and now making anime while living in Japan about living in Japan? Like, I think that that's kind of the theme here is this is what living in Japan is like, and I get to do all of these things. Your bucket list of all the things you've ever wanted to do. So, like, you know, that's what I think. That's my opinion on it. But let me know what you think in the chat. You live in my dream. So, like, there you go, man. Appreciate you. All right. We have one more channel review to do tonight, but let's get to the chat and let's get to some of this water. Surprised my voice has held out. I agree. Japanese lifestyle, American living in Japan lifestyle angle, 100%. Yeah, this is a lifestyle brand. This is a lifestyle brand. Do not become a tutorial channel. Be a lifestyle brand that then sells an education platform in the background, but be a lifestyle brand. Thank you for your time and analysis. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. And KD, you are exactly the kind of person who I'd want in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group. So do consider signing up. I do think it could help you. I know that the time difference for Japan would be probably a little rough for you. But I definitely think we could make it worth your while if you did join the Academy Pro group. But yeah, nice stuff, solid showing and everything like that. Also, I feel like I now see quite a bit, excuse me, of things I can improve or expand on in my creator scorecards tool. Yeah, I need to expand thumbnail type detection. I need to actually work on the SEO and keyword scoring analysis if we're going to have it at all, because there just are some channels that actually need the SEO part, like tutorial channels or news channels even. So there is that. So yeah, I'm going to make some notes. And Doug, if you have any notes, Doug, on things I can improve in the creator scorecard tool, definitely let me know. And I'll try and incorporate those if I do a vibe coding session this weekend, which I probably will. Probably put in another 5-10 hours on Saturday. Probably need to take Sunday off. No, I need to film Saturday and Sunday is what I need to do. So I probably need to not vibe code on Saturday and Sunday. I need to film Saturday and Sunday. I need to film on Monday, and I'll vibe code while I'm traveling, since I won't be able to film as much. That's how I'll do it. Yeah, creators. Miss Vanessa says the creator scorecard is interesting, especially the ranking amongst same type. Yeah. Yep. All right, so we have Miss Vanessa, who's been waiting patiently, and is going to be our last channel of the evening. So, let's see here. Silly gaming videos, let's play inspiration guides, and tutorials, vstreetlove. This banner's actually pretty good. And then you have your EA affiliate code, smart to put your creator code there. 18,000 subscribers. Oh, we can't see you on screen here. Hang on. Yep. So yeah, 18,000 subscribers, 500 videos, silly gaming videos, let's play, inspiration guides, tutorials, and then you got your code for EA in there. So let's see. It's actually pretty good thumbnails for tier list, and you have a start here for people to get used to. So you have this for the ranking, every blah blah blah, ranking, mostly Sims. Okay, and then Nectar Making Empire, which that game clearly did, like within Sims, didn't do as well as your other series. Tiny Town. So silly games. It looks like you're mostly Sims, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it looks like you're mostly Sims. No problem with that. It's working for you, I guess, given your views and subscribers. So, good job. Thumbnails work for you. There are things I would try making sure you sharpen up your eyes and face, maybe hair in it. But also, it's possible you're making these things in Canva, so you may not be able to do something as specific as that sharpening. But definitely could be worth exploring. Yeah, this is working for you. I'm not sure where you needed advice. Let me see if I can find your super chat. Tips for adding more games into my channel, trying to grow, or too soon, right time. Okay, so I would not add book, movie reviews, and more games to this. What I would actually do, and you may think this is wild, if you want to do more of that type of content, here's what my advice is. Add more games to your live streaming specifically, but do that for Twitch. Variety works on Twitch. It does not really work on YouTube. Your audience focuses around you with The Sims. Stick with it. It's working. What I would do is I would make a V Street Plays YouTube channel if you want to do more variety gaming. And I would mostly do live streams for that and not edit those videos, but I would clip your gameplay for those. I would clip the gameplay for that into long form and short form on that V Street Plays YouTube channel. And with the V Street Plays YouTube channel, I would try and do a variety of games, and I would also make sure you're hitting new games. Maybe you hit up GTA 6 when it comes out if there's nothing you don't like or dislike about GTA 6. So I would do a VT Plays YouTube channel. I would simulcast it to YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, and TikTok probably. And so I would do a V Street Plays channel, do your variety content over there, but do no editing. Live stream it all, then clip VODs of the live streams and clip shorts of the live streams and put it on that channel. Then I would take the shorts from your V Street Plays channel and I would post that not only on YouTube Shorts on that channel, but on an Instagram, a TikTok, a Facebook, and Snapchat, and monetize the hell out of all of those. This way you can play other games, enjoy other games, and monetize it with no extra work. And to do all the clipping and distribution and scheduling, you run it all through Opus Clips, so you do no real work on most of it. And then you just keep it casual, but you still have it, you still enjoy it, and then you're still monetizing it. This means you're not adding extra edits to another YouTube channel, you're not adding extra work, and all you're doing is playing more games, enjoying more games, and streaming it so that it's out there. So I would do it that way. And my reasoning for that is you get to monetize another YouTube channel. You get to keep this channel much more streamlined for the existing audience. You still get to play variety. You can market and cross-promote across two YouTube channels using the collab feature and reach both audiences. So you get the double dip. You get to expand monetization. You can take on more sponsorships if you want to make money from sponsorships. And then you also get to generate content to be multi-platform with almost no extra work required. So that's how I would approach the variety thing of wanting to do more games. And as for books and movie and TV show reviews, I would do a pop culture, a third channel for pop culture specifically if you wanted to. That one you do edit a little bit, but it could be loosely edited and be mostly yapping. And that way it keeps it light work and you get to cultivate an audience, because the truth is you may be someone who enjoys all these things, but most people only enjoy the one thing. So trying to get them to all work on one channel is not typically advisable. So that would be my thought for that part of it. Let me grab this and run you into Creator Scorecard. All right. So let's see. Nice, nice. 2 million lifetime views. Let's go to video formats. Very strong on live streams. Very strong on live streams. Yep. improvements on short form. So you have a decent balance across your formats. Yep. A very good cadence and balance across your formats. Your formats cover, seems like you do different things on different days, and that it balances out across your channel holistically. So well done with that. Not a lot of people embrace that strategy. Your balance of content formats is pretty strong. Get a B in the audit. I think your thumbnails work for you. I'm going to tweak the grading algorithm on the thumbnails because your thumbnails aren't that bad, but I would say they're a C or a B, but for different reasons than the tool is giving. But I also think they work for you, and I think they work for your personality, and I don't think they need to be drastically changed, if I'm being honest. I would argue your thumbnails are working, so I would leave them alone. Performance radar. Performance radar is good. Average views for the long form. Surprised by that, but that's still not bad for what it is. Average views on a short form are high. Distribution of views. Interesting. See here. Channels, exceptional short strategy, high engagement rate, very high engagement rate on the shorts. Subscriber acquisition is crucial for long-term health and reach. Yep. Improve subscriber growth. Implement clear, concise calls to action in your long form, intros and outros, asking viewers to subscribe. Yeah, I would agree with that. High confidence. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, that's a good rating. Yeah. So overall, vstreetlove, excellent job on the channel. A lot of potential here. Again, I think that you actually benefit from a channel expansion strategy. Instead of trying to make one channel satisfy all your interest, breaking up it into these different channels gives you a real advantage in every one of those doing well. And if there is crossover with the audiences, you get to promote more channels and you get to take up more of their watch time across channels, and you get multiple monetization opportunities. That's actually a good thing. And then when you're not feeling one set of your hobbies, you lean into another one on another channel. That way you can actually rotate through them and not burn out. So you could focus on this channel. The other two side channels are okay if you're feeling it, and that is something that would let you benefit from having those things as an outlet, is if you're trying to monetize them or at least get some recognition for them. So again, I think it could be worth pursuing. But I'd love to know what you think, chat, and I'd love to know what anyone watching the replay thinks in the comments. But yeah, great job. And that's going to do it for tonight's channel reviews. Thank you. Channel expansion sounds intimidating, though. How does someone like me manage and balance that for growth? By setting yourself a rhythm with it. It can sound challenging, and it is for a lot of people, but for anyone who pulls it off, it works out really well. So the question is, can you pull it off? So what I would say is if the live streaming channel is treated casually, but you build systems for it, like for example, I use Opus Clip. If a live stream happens, it'll start doing the clipping. So that'll help you with the live stream channel. Just play the games live on the other channel and don't overthink it. And then for the other channel, if you don't over edit the videos and you keep if you keep movie reviews and book reviews to yapping and you focus on franchises you're really passionate about that have a community, you'll be okay. And those don't need to be over the top. People like authentic content. It doesn't have to be overly polished. When you're feeling it, you can work a little bit harder. When you're not, you can do it just to do it. As long as you keep the other two channels casual, it'll be fine. And then as long as you prioritize your main channel, you'll be fine. The reason you want to do the other channels is because, again, you're kind of looking for an outlet. But again, if you're going to expand, you don't expand on the main channel, you expand with the new channels. Even me, I'm going to be reviving some of my other channels because it occurred to me that this channel is where I get to teach what I know and what I did and what worked and what I know. So this channel is about what does Roberto Blake know? And then I want my podcast channel back because I want to flip my podcast to being commentary on the creator economy so I can have strong opinions, because people tell me, Roberto, I miss when you ranted. I don't really want to do that on this channel anymore because I feel it's too much of a distraction to insert my opinions instead of the data and facts that I found. So this channel is about the facts and like, here's what I know, here's what the data says, here's what I can prove, here's what YouTube said, here's what Instagram said, here's what Spotify said. So like this channel is about what I know and what I can prove with data. And then my podcast channel can be what I think and what my opinions are and what I believe. So this channel is what I know. My podcast becomes what I believe. And then my Roberto Blake 2 channel, spelled T-O-O as in 2, is going to be my build in public projects like my vibe coding projects, my public speaking. It's going to be about what is Roberto Blake doing right now. So it's going to be, here's what I know, here's what I believe, and here's what I'm doing right now. I'm splitting up myself across my expansion strategy like that because doing all of that on this channel would be too much. And I think that's what exhausted me before. So the key to a channel expansion is to do what you're already doing well, that your existing main channel audience would also like, but it lets you be seen in a different way. So that's kind of my thesis of expanding channels. An example, CoffeeZilla did high production on his main channel of going after fraudsters. And then he did the Voidzilla channel and he was doing less polished Yap style videos, less editing, like very talking head. So he could crank them out and go quantity there. But the value is still strong. But he's pivoted that one, and instead of going after mostly fraudsters there, he's going politics there. But it still allows him to use every skill that made him good at covering the fraudsters. So he's getting to lean into that journalistic aspect of what he wants to do. But then he gets to say, okay, I have a high effort channel in terms of quality, and then I have a high effort channel in terms of quantity and outputs. And so it's a different dimension. So I think it makes sense. So I'm using this as an example of how creators can expand their content portfolio, and that the key is you don't have to put in the same effort in the same way. When I do a podcast, it's going to be much, much less edited. A main channel video, the editing is going to be there, but it's going to be subtle. But then a podcast, there's going to be very little editing at all. It's going to be almost more commentary reaction style. And so then the Roberto Blake 2 channel is going to be loosely edited and somewhat vlog-like, but it's going to be a little bit more yappy, but it's also going to have yappy plus the B-rolls, the B-roll from these kind of cameras of, well, what was I doing? So it's going to be, okay, and I vibe coded for 100 days straight. I survived vibe coding 100 days straight. 200 days into my vibe coding journey and everything like that. you know, how I built blah blah blah, or how I run my business, how I built, how I'm running my six-figure coaching business, how I like, you know, not how I became a public speaker, but it's like, you know, um, how I get to be a paid public speaker, stuff like that. It's gonna be about what I'm doing. So again, I'm just using myself as an example there of I'm instead of trying to force every aspect of my life and personality into one YouTube channel, I am picking and choosing, and I said, I will make this channel the facts and what I know and what I can prove with data and what I could look at with data. I will make a podcast where I can tell you how I feel about things that are happening in the industry. And then I will make a channel that shows you what I'm doing now so you understand that there are things and moves that I'm making that are experiments. And so you get to see that I'm still experimenting, still learning. So I get to have a channel where I am a thought leader, an authority, arguably an expert. I get to have a channel where I'm a commentator and I can be very opinionated, and I don't have to necessarily be right. I can just say how I feel and be opinionated. And then I have a channel where I'm still a learner and you can see me learning, growing, and doing. And I feel like that is important for where I am in my stage of life. So what I'm telling a lot of you is I think most of you should make one channel. But if you get that channel monetized and you get over 10, 20, 100,000 subscribers, I'm okay with you having at least one secondary channel that lets you explore an aspect of yourself so you're not tempted. So you're not tempted to force things into a channel that your audience doesn't want from you. And then you can still benefit from YouTube cross promotion. Yes, we do have a link for Opus Clip for anyone asking. I'm going to post it in the chat unless you already have that link, Doug, which you might. I'm going to post it in the chat. I think we should have a link for Opus Clip, and I will be on the Opus Clip YouTube channel tomorrow morning. Well, rather tomorrow afternoon, right after Niman Live at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my good friend Andrew Can, who I definitely need to have on my podcast. We need to tell war stories. Let's see, get Opus Clip, and that should be the link there. There you go. That is my link with Genius Link. And so yeah, get Opus with that. That's my affiliate link. Yeah, 100% Doug. Yep. Yeah, trying to diversify because the game is in a weird place right now. Yeah, with gaming, I coach a lot of gamers. When one game is down, another game is up. Most people's exit strategy is just to play Roblox or Minecraft. A lot of the gaming channels that I work with, when chips are down, they start a Roblox or Minecraft channel, and then that thing never goes down, right? So, and I've helped people grow. Like I helped the guy, Lemove. He's a French creator. I helped him do 0 to 100,000 subscribers in 100 days with a Roblox channel by focusing on shorts. So yeah, when anything else is down, Roblox and Minecraft are up. So there's that. But yeah, great set of reviews tonight, you guys. It was amazing seeing all of you. We've got our wonderful sponsor, One of 10, to thank as well for these channel reviews. So make sure you're checking them out, oneof10.com. If you use code Roberto or use my link, you get 20% off for life. So shout out to them. Shout out to our friends over at Opus Clip as well. And soon to be sponsor of the channel, our friends at Hostinger. So, yep, I will be at South by Southwest next week. We'll probably still be doing this because I won't have sponsor obligations on Friday. My stuff will be done by like Thursday usually. So there'll be that Wednesday. Wednesday I'm doing stuff. Tuesday I'm doing stuff. Thursday should be the end of my main obligations. So yeah, Friday night we should do a stream. If we don't do it Friday night, we'll do it Saturday most likely. And so yeah, and then I'll probably come back Sunday. because that's usually like how I do the travel. But yeah, um, that's pretty much it for this one. I'm gonna keep working on Creator Scorecard, but you guys can definitely check out CreatorDictionary.com. It's really good, and I know that works. Also, I made something else that actually does work as well. I made I made, and this one is I have my domain for this with Hostinger as well. So I made creatorinvoices.com. And so Creator Invoices, I literally just made a very easy, free forever, simple invoicing tool, and I backed it up on. I primarily hosted this on Cloudflare, but I made my vanity domain creatorinvoices.com, which it'll be in the browser soon instead of a redirect. I just have to work on that tomorrow. But I set it up so that it's on Cloudflare so that it'll work forever. And it's a single, well-coded, no email sign up, no sign in, no data collection, no paywall, no nothing, no login, no subscription, no catch, free forever. Just give me credit for it. But I made this, and you can get it at creatorinvoices.com, creatorinvoices.com, so that you can send a simple invoice to your sponsors, your customers, whatever, and then you plug in whatever your payment method URL is, and they can pay you. And you can do basically everything you would do in PayPal. You can even add the taxes. You can keep track of your clients. It saves that in your browser's local storage. So again, I don't get any of your data. I wanted to, and I can't for the way I set up on Cloudflare, because I wanted this to be free forever. And I wanted a simple way for people to send invoices. I actually had a thing where I'm like, I needed to send an invoice for an affiliate partner. It was Fiverr. And I'm like, I can't just, they don't just pay you out via PayPal. I have to send an invoice to get my $600 from them. So I'm like, I literally just got frustrated and just built myself an invoicing tool very quickly. And so it actually works out really well. So you can export a PDF and mail it off, email it off to whoever you need to. You can actually do this and it'll do the send function. So yeah, you have a very simple invoicing tool there. I made Creator Dictionary, like I said. So again, these are free forever things with Creator Dictionary, because people are like, well, how are you going to monetize this? I don't want to monetize the invoicing tool at all, and I don't want anyone's data. There was a reason for that, because I want everyone to use it as an easy to use thing very quickly and just attribute it to me, so I just get some legacy credit there. But Creator Dictionary, the monetization method for this is I'm just going to make a print book of Creator Dictionary eventually and release that every couple of years like Merriam-Webster. And then this website will promote the fact that a print version of the Creator Dictionary exists, and you can start collecting the different editions of that. And then I will sell the rights to the international version to a publisher, and then I will monetize it that way. But this thing will always be free, but it'll end up just being a funnel for a Creator Dictionary book that I monetize. So, and sell the international rights to. So that is the angle here, but this one's completely free. So it's like, you know, so that's, you know, that's being smart. So yeah, so we got creatordictionary.com. Eventually I'll have these other tools at production level, but these two fully work right now and they're perfect. So these absolutely work and they're perfect, and you can use them as is. If you find bugs or something, you can tell me. But yeah, I got into coding and building websites when I was a kid at 13. So like well over 25 years ago, going on 30 years ago. And I really enjoyed it. And it's got me really excited again about making stuff. So I've been really happy with it. And so eventually these other tools that I'm making, I'm going to be able to sell some of these other tools, but I need to work on them for another 3 to 6 months before I get to that point. But in the meantime, there's some free stuff that people can enjoy. And it feels like, you know, I'm going to end up making what will become some of the best and most used tools in the creator economy. That's the goal. I always wanted to do that. I've told you guys for a couple of years that if I could do something, what do I do? It's like software company. AI is letting me do that. So now software company. Yeah. So I like that I'm doing that. I always said I wanted to build software. I always said I wanted to be a public speaker once I got over my fear of public speaking. I always said that I wanted to be a published author and a best-selling author, so I did that. So I'm checking off the list at this point. I'm getting it done. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for me, you guys. I will catch you next week from Austin. So stay awesome. I'm going to let you guys hear about Awesome Creator Academy, and we'll catch you next time.
Becoming a content creator can be a very lonely process and adventure, but it doesn't have to be. When I first got started going from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, I had to do it all by myself. I didn't have a community of like-minded and like-hearted creators to talk to or to ask for advice, and I certainly didn't have a mentor to guide me along the way. I built the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group because when I was getting started, what would have meant the world to me is not to have to struggle alone when it comes to being a full-time content creator. If I had had a community of creators that I could talk to and share information with, I would have avoided a lot of mistakes in my early career, and there would have been opportunities with brand deals where I would have gotten a better understanding of how to negotiate, and I wouldn't have undersold myself. I wouldn't have been taken advantage of in those early situations. So in the Awesome Creator Academy Pro group, myself and our co-instructor Andy Rivera, we meet twice a week for office hours with our creators, and we share information, we talk about how we're building our creator businesses, and we offer constructive criticism and critique on the things that we're working on for our projects. You'll be part of a community of usually around 100 like-minded creators who are taking this seriously just like you are. You'll also have all access as a pro group member to all of our past, present, and future courses, training, templates, digital downloads, and swipe files. You have full access to our creator blueprints where you'll see our systems and the frameworks that we use to execute. You know, you always fall or rise to the standard of your systems. A lot of people really underestimate how important that is. We have digital download templates that can help you so you don't have to start with a blank canvas. These done for you files are actually incredibly helpful, especially for things like your thumbnails, your media kits, and anything you need for your branding as a content creator to look professional. We have email swipe files that help you with reaching out to brands. We have great information in helping you price yourself and build your packages appropriately. And remember, as part of the pro group, you have the opportunity to ask questions from myself and all the other creators participating. And so this means that if you need to ask questions about negotiation or a brand deal, there's something you're not sure about, you're trying to find a better monetization opportunity with merch or affiliates, you have people who have done it before, who are already making money that you can reach out to for advice. As I said, when I was starting out and I was flying solo, this is the thing that I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a part of, and it would have made all the difference in the world in helping me be an even more successful content creator. If you have questions, you can always reach out via support. We're happy to help you figure out if the pro group is right for you. Also, we do have the opportunity if you become a VIP member, if you also would like quarterly one-on-one coaching with me directly. Now go out there and create something awesome today, and hopefully we'll see you in the pro group. Take care.